I'm a very nice man, and we're recording now. Um, Last session, Jackson Magnus had a very long, heartwarming conversation. Sev, Valen, and Venley talked about tea and biscuits and otherworldly demonic beings. Soleil bitched out a halfling woman of God, and Arlo force fed people spicy tea. And then Voros punched a demon man in the face. And that's where we are. And I think that's actually, yeah, that is right where we are. Troy, can you hear me?
Yep.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah, brother. Did you roll last session? You didn't. You were just like, I punch him in the face, right?
Yeah, we stopped right like mid punch.
So, you noticed the tattoo pattern, or it might not even be a tattoo skin. It's reddish purple skin with like darker purple head with similar pattern.
Is it just me, or is Peyton cutting out?
Yeah, your mic's acting a little weird.
Is it still doing that?
Oh, better.
No, that's good.
It might have just been. Hold on a second. 1 minute.
Yeah, it's perfect now. I think it was.
I'm not even saying anything. How do you know that?
Well, no, it was before that. It was before that.
If it happens again, let me know. I don't know. I'm not quite used to the soundboard situation. That's out of my pay grade. That's something I'm still learning as I go. You notice he has like a trident kind of tattoo that goes like around his eyes, up to his eyes, through, around, over his head, down his back, and like around his sides. And he had a deep scar that you remember very clearly giving him. You remember this very powerful Oni swordsman at the initial siege of Zenobia, right at the start of Hell's Breach, which is a war that happened. If I'm not mistaken, at this point, I think the time frame is probably like 20 years ago, give or take. And he had on a garb, like a tabard, sort of. He had like a big kind of belt kind of going on, like some baggy sort of flexible, movable pants. And then he had a tabard that went over the front that had an image of an Oni cutting through like tabaxis. And that's when you're like, okay, I'm going to punch him in the face. And now you're like punching him in the face. Give me an attack roll. That's a loud dice roll.
Sorry.
There's a lot of energy. No, it's good. I'm glad.
Well, technically, there's a lot of energy behind this. 25.
Ooh, yeah, it does.
Damage is 8 with my claws.
Ooh, you have unarmed. Nice, that's good. So you run up, you bare your claws. You immediately go, as he kind of comes, you've had that stare down, he comes up to you, he looks at you. He sizes him up, and very rapidly, very quickly, trained, there is no hesitation to your ferocity. Before he can really even react, you bring your fist across his face, and then really quickly kind of slash him across the chest. He goes to the side and then kind of back across. Give me another attack action or whatever you're going to do as you continue to press. And you can literally, you can do much more creative things than just beating the shit out of him. But also beating the shit out of him is totally valid.
I'm going to do one round of attacks and then see what happens after that. 23.
Yep, that'll do it.
And that's 7 points of damage.
So you scratch him across the chest. He kind of goes to the side. You bring your claw again, back across his chest, and then as he kind of gets pulled that way to face you, you very quickly bring your claws across, drop your hand, and uppercut him kind of under the chin, and it kind of sends him up a little bit, reeling. As that has now there's some sailors that have turned, there's some guards that have turned. They start like, "Oh, what is going on?" People are freaking out. There's like guards that run over. They start like dropping the weapons. And as Karen kind of goes up and he lands, he puts his hands out and he's like, "Stop! This is me!" And then you can continue to press or whatever you're gonna do.
When he yells stop and says that, Voros just kind of has this half-cocked grin of like pure pleasure, and just in a tone that only him and Chiron understand, he just says, "Good. I was hoping so." And he goes in for another volley of attacks.
All right.
I have a question.
Uh-huh.
Can I use Divine Smite on unarmed attacks?
I think technically no, but I
Okay.
will allow it because it's cool. But you're not gonna be able to do it again.
All right, I will save that for.
You have to ask me before you do it. But
Yeah.
in this situation, I'm cool with it.
I'll save that for if I can get a crescendo on this fucker. That's 24 to hit and only 5 points of
Okay.
slashing on that one.
Did you roll 2 or you just did the 1? So I know you're
I
doing
just did the one.
Okay. So
I'm
you,
rolling both attack and damage at the same time.
So you respond to him after he puts his arms out and says stop. He's kind of like went up in the air, kind of fallen back, and he kind of was like in the middle of like almost sliding backwards from your attack as he says, "Stop, this is me." And then you're like already kind of striding towards him as you respond, and immediately go in with like a really solid, just left kind of like jab as you like kind of push your whole body into this strong, rigid punch as you throw your whole weight into it. You kind of catch him in the shoulder. He kind of rolls back, and then you have another attack action to do whatever you want to do with it.
That will be 19 to hit.
He's going to use a dodge reaction for that one.
Okay.
So you go to, as you knock him back with that strong punch, and then you follow up with like a kind of a haymaker as he's falling back. You're going to try to catch him in the jaw. He moves a little bit back. He kind of grabs your arm, pulls you through, and kind of tosses you in front of him as he squares up and he goes to move in, and he's going to make attack actions on you. As he goes to move in, he recognizes that you're not holding back. You didn't pull out your sword, but you're using your claws, and you see that from under his wrists, these two like small sort of bone blades come out. 23.
That hits.
And I decided, because I talked to I liked somebody said after you have been successfully hit, so like he reacts, dodges, he does get to attack, and then if he misses, it does go back to you. You don't get a reaction until the second time he gets to attack. And same thing for him. So the only time that it would, if you were to dodge right now, or if you were to miss, the only way you can't dodge right now, the only way it would go back to you is if he missed.
Yeah.
So he got a 23 and a 21.
They both hit.
Okay, that's going to be... Oh, he got good rolls. That is going to be 11 and 10 as he kind of steps forward. He throws you across. He steps forward. These two bone blades kind of extend out from under his wrists, and he goes to slash once. You kind of put an arm up to guard, but it kind of catches across, and then he moves forward to try to jab like into you, and you have your arm up. You kind of duck down, but it does kind of go across the top of your shoulder as he pulls that arm back, and then he goes in again with a left punch. This is now his second turn. 22.
Hits.
19.
Misses.
So it's going to be 9. With the first attack, He kind of slashes over the shoulder. You're ducked. He comes in low, and you do manage to kind of shift your weight to the side. He does kind of scrape across. Maybe if you're, I guess you're probably wearing like full plate. How's Voros decked out? I feel like he's full plate at this level, but I'm not. Or I mean, plate, like, plate armor, not full plate. He comes into you, not as he's like jabbing for the stomach. He just kind of makes full contact with the armor. He hits hard, and you can feel like the percussive force of this really immensely powerful punch. But your armor does manage to absorb most of it. As you kind of bounce off of him from the force of that punch, he comes in again with like a strong haymaker, just kind of the same way you just did. And he is going wide. You manage to block it. It kind of slides down your arm, and then it's your turn.
Who don't want to do that? I don't know. It's good, but he's a fucking Oni. Can I try to do a contested grapple to, like, judo throw him to the ground?
Sure.
Number 7, that's 22.
You got 21. So tell me how you do that. You block, and it kind of slides across.
He rotates his wrist that he used his arm to block, grabs his wrist tightly enough to like dig his claws in a bit, and takes his other hand and with full motion just goes underneath his armpit and torques his entire body to throw him to the ground face first, and then immediately follow up with like a mount and ground pound punch.
All right. So you do that, get on top. As he goes down, you go on top, and you start.
That's 26.
That hits.
And
I think you would effectively have advantage.
Oh, okay.
For the record, because he is prone, and you're melee attacking.
Still 26.
Okay.
That was 8 damage.
Okay. So you get on top, big punch. And that's the end of that turn, effectively. Which makes it your next turn. So you have 2 attack actions and whatever you want to do.
Okay.
He kind of is guarded up, and you can see his eyes are locked on you. He's like focused. He's not yet at the point where he, he's in a bad situation, but he's not ready to be like, I have lost. He's waiting. He's trying to like find an opportunity.
Okay. Yeah, just is going to be 2 haymakers left and right. 23 to hit.
Yep.
And damage is 7. And the next one
So just coming in, you're kind of catching some of his arms, and it's his arms are being knocked back. You're trying to find an opening in his guard, but your big punch is down.
Next one is a natural 20.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
This is what you were talking about, I think.
No, I'm not. He's saving it for like the crescendo. He's wanting to kill this guy. So he's just wanting to enjoy this right now. Damage is 12 total.
So you punch the first one, you catch his guard, and the guard kind of drops a little bit, and you do manage to slip your other hand in past his one arm. So you kind of catch the side into the face where the other arm is kind of dropped, and you kind of catch into his face. You can hear a little crack, maybe of a tooth or of his jaw or something, as you punch down into him. Now the people on the ship have there are a bunch of guards and sailor stuff. They're kind of around you. You're not probably paying attention. I don't think that you're here. Yeah. Soleil, Arlo are below deck. Venley is probably below deck. Jax, give me a perception check.
Let's do this. Let's go. Where would my Iron Defender be at this point? Just wondering. Would he have came in the room? Okay. Ooh. I rolled a 17. Let me see what my plus is. I got a 21. If I need to, I can raise it. But
you and your brother are at the point where we were in the conversation when we ended the session. So you guys have like shaken hands, or you're probably in the process of like making that blood binding agreement, when you hear yelling outside, and let me see this real quick. I want to see. Okay, that's Braden. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. As you hear some yelling outside, you kind of turn and look out the window. Magnus looks to the side. There's like a throng of people. Everybody's kind of focused on the middle of the ship. And Natalia, the very pale elven woman, opens the door and says, Magnus, there is a brawl on the ship. You have to come, quick. And he goes, let's go, brother. And he lets go of your hand, and he goes out the door into the commotion. Do you follow him?
Yeah, I'm gonna follow.
You follow him out onto the ship. You can hear the sounds of fighting, and then you hear people like, oh, and like the reactions as you hear a loud thud of like a body hitting wood. And as you get to like the front of the throng, or close enough to the front of the throng where you can see what's happening, is right when you see Kayron just get like, he's like skidding across the ground, and Voros has jumped on top of him and just starts kind of laying into him. And he's at the point, like when you get there, he has now hit him 3. He's gotten that one really good blow.
If it looks like he's like done fighting, like does it look like he's like just getting beat up at this point?
You got a 21 on your perception check?
Yeah, I could roll. I can put.
Give me an insight check.
Okay, I'm good in insight. I rolled an 18 and I got a +7, so 25.
Kayron still has a look of determination. You can see his face. You can see there's some blood coming out of his lip. Maybe it's hard to tell because of his strange skin tone, but you can see a spot on his cheek that looks like maybe it's kind of swelled a little bit, or at least it's going to be bruised. But he's not just like his arm. He's firm. His eyes are locked in. He doesn't look like he has given up.
Okay, so with my 25 insight, I want to ready an action, and I want to make it basically like I don't want him to die. Like if he's gonna be determined till he's dead, I still want to cast this before he like ends up being killed or whatever. But I want to cast Sanctuary on him.
Okay.
And I'm gonna ready that kind of like when he's like lost his determination, and once he like thinks he lost, I'm gonna cast that on him.
I think Magnus will come up. He's gonna get to like the front, and he gets to the point where like maybe you and him are standing next to each other, near each other, and he gets into the circle, but he doesn't jump into the situation. Voros, what are you doing?
Still kind of oblivious to the fighting pit they pseudo made.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think you're just. You don't know Jax is there. You don't even know who the fuck Jax is. You're just fucking beating.
No, I don't pay attention to anyone really. Just the guy on the ground that he is intentively trying to finish. This attack after that haymaker is going to that scar that he left years so long ago. He's going to take his claws and like in a knife hand just dig into it, trying to reopen it.
Okay.
Cause as much pain as possible.
Okay.
With that, I am going to be using. Where is it? A cruelty die.
Okay.
So to hit is 24.
Okay.
So cruelty dies, I get 3 of them because they go off my proficiencies. When I deal damage to a creature, spend 1 cruelty die to deal extra damage to creature equal to the roll. It's a d6.
When you deal can you read that to me again one more time? Sorry.
So when you deal damage to a creature, spend 1 cruelty die to deal extra damage to the creature equal to the roll.
Got it.
There's like 2 other ones I can do. If I score a critical hit, I can get temporary HP, or if I make a charisma intimidation check, I can add it to the roll.
Got it. Okay.
So extra damage. Ooh, is a 6. Nice. That's going to be 13 points of damage.
So you kind of bring your claws to the got this like sleek. You go to kind of jab it into the side of his. It's like just below the ribs, like, and you can feel the tips of your fingers as your claws pierce through, and then the very top of the flesh of your fingers pierces like into him, and he does manage to reach down and kind of grab your hand, and he has his teeth gritted, and he's like baring his sharp teeth at you, locked in still, and he's trying to like stop you from digging further.
As he's doing that, Vorus goes in personal space bubble and pretty much just says, "Do you remember me now?" And he is going to try and rip that wound open.
Okay.
And I'll use one more cruelty die because this is kind of fucked up.
Do you want to do an intimidation, or do you want to just get the extra damage?
Just the extra damage.
Okay.
Okay, so to hit is 23.
That hits. Yep.
Okay. That is great. 11 points.
You lean in, you say, "Do you remember me now?" And then you pull at the wound. You kind of go, you kind of like fan up and down as you pull, and it does it. It pulls the flesh out and it rips. And he, "You son of a bitch!" And he is like just eyes bloodshot, teeth gritted, spit flies, as his wound just kind of rips up all the way along the lining of his. It goes up from like the bottom of the rib all the way up to not like up here in the chest, but it goes up to like where like the whole entire area, like where the bottom, from the very bottom of the rib up to where the rib starts to kind of curve upwards. You tear all the way up and like open the wound. And what do you do next? In that moment, Magnus takes a step forward and he starts walking towards you, but you have about 3. You have effectively enough time to before he's going to try to do something.
Yeah,
you have enough time to like do one more thing, maybe.
Okay.
Was
Was there
Karen
any
isn't dead,
form of
but he's-
recognition when he asked him, "Do you remember me now?"
Give me an insight check. He didn't audibly say, "Yeah, I remember you." I think he was in. I think that's not where he was at that moment. You know what I mean? But give me an insight check.
That's only a 16.
That's not bad. I do think that like he was looking at you, and you were like you had your eyes locked. And I do think there was that flash, like where his eyes kind of widened, the pupils dilated. He kind of honed in. You could see. I think you could see that flash of recognition, and I think that the son of a bitch felt maybe a little personal as well.
With that form of recognition, even in the slightest of that, Boris is going to take that sash that he's wearing that has like the tally marks and the photos or like the pictures of a demon slaying a bunch of Leonin / Khajiits. He is going to take it, rub it in his fucking face, and just say, make my own. And put countless demons on it. And he's going to go in for a headbutt.
All right.
Oh, damn, so close. 19 plus.
19 plus stuff?
Yeah, but it's not my claws, so do you still want me to use my claws? For unarmed?
I think it's okay. Yeah, just do the D6.
Alright. Then... Oh, that is 6 plus 4, so 10.
You pull the tabard up, put it over his face and kind of rub it in. You like lean in and say that to him, and then real strong. Boom. Ooh, hello.
Nobody wins in a headbutt, just FYI.
Yeah. How dare you? And then I gotta get pretty again. Hold on. And then as you hit him, 10 points of damage. He's like reached up and he's trying to grab at the tabard, grab at your hand to pull it down. He's like kind of pulling it down just enough so like the top of his eye, he's still concealed. His like he's trying to get to some of his face revealed from underneath the tabard, and he quite can't. In that moment, after you just headbutted him, you come back up. You're like rubbing the thing in his face. Jax, do you do anything? Your brother is walking forward, and you see he like flexes the gauntleted hand as he steps forward, and he like is going in.
Does it look like he's about to die, the Oni? K-Ron?
I mean, like, he's in a bad situation. I would say it's hard on your insight. He's in danger. He's not going to win the fight. I don't know if he's like immediately about to die. But he is certainly, he doesn't have, I mean, but the wound is torn open. You can see, you know, the red meat inside there is blood pouring out. He's not doing well. That's for sure.
Yeah, I'll just cast Sanctuary on him now then.
Well, if you're not going to stop Magnus, you could. What does Sanctuary do? I'm sorry. I don't
no
remember
one
that.
can
Nope.
attack. No one will be able to attack K-Ron until he attacks again.
As you
Let
cast that,
me look it up just in case, but I'm pretty sure that's what it does.
Magnus comes forward. Magnus gets a 27 to hit, and this is actually, you might be able to. You have probably very high strength, I would think. So, Voris, can you do a strength saving throw?
Yeah, I can attempt that. There's a pretty decent sized number there. 14 plus 9, 24? No, 23?
He walks up. He punches you. You see, I don't think you'd see it because I think you're in here.
Yeah. No.
But Jax, what you see is he kind of like with his whole body, he steps up. He does this like power squat, brings his arm back. You see like a blue flash in the gauntlet, and then like energy that kind of gets released out of the back as he in like this one very powerful full body, all of the power of his entire existence coming out into that point of contact where he kind of hits Voros on the shoulder. And Voros, you're on top of him, and your whole body is kind of like, and that's going to be 18 points of bludgeoning damage and 2 points of lightning damage.
Some bitch laser. Okay.
And you,
Wait, how much did you say?
18 points of bludgeoning damage and 2 points of lightning damage. As that punch hits, and you kind of bend a little bit, and you kind of like just feel yourself all of a sudden, whoa, you go moving. You only fall back, you get pushed back 10 feet, and you kind of maybe slide across the ground and catch yourself. As you look over, and there's this like very big, you would be familiar with the Goliath. So this very big Goliath man, kind of gray skinned, set of golden sort of armor. He has a tabard on that's probably like blue with a symbol of a golden hawk on it. And he has that steaming gauntlet kind of out from the punch that he just laid on you. And now he's kind of standing in front of K-Ron. And he, as you turn and see him, he does say, "Good bout. Now calm."
Takes Voros a second because getting blindsided by that big ass fist. He gets up, kind of just looking over and then looking down, pressing himself up off the ground, wiping the blood that he just spit up coming from his mouth. Didn't think Oni would need protection.
And Magnus kind of he relaxed himself a little bit. He gets out of the like squatted stance. The gauntlet drops down. He stands up and he says, "Everyone is protected on my ship. Kayron is a strong man, but you're clearly very strong yourself. No, I don't know what that was about, but it stops. It stops now. And if you have an issue with my men, you take it to my cabin. Is that clear?"
Just spits a big amount of blood onto the deck of the ship. His eyes have not left Kayron at all.
Mhm.
And just stares at him like he's staring a hole through this person and just says, "We'll finish this off the ship at some point, unless you're a coward and want to live on this ship for the rest of your unnatural life." And Voros is just going to walk away and just like shoulder check everyone that he walks through in the crowd.
You walk through the crowd. You kind of push people aside. Magnus looks over at Kayron, who is kind of shielded by I don't know what your sanctuary looks like because you're an artificer. Artificers are weird. In my mind, it would just be sort of like a very thin, kind of like just a gleam of light, sort of, that when hit would kind of be, it would act sort of like the shield spell in my mind. As Magnus reaches
I wanted to
down,
look kind of like a barrier, like have like hexagons kind of like all connecting like around them almost.
like a tech-based shield, you know, kind of like
Yeah.
you're talking about. I can't explain that. I know what you're talking
You know,
about.
yeah, like the pattern, like that's like going across it.
It looks like a Super Smash Bros. Shield, like Fox.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? You know what
I
I'm
know what
talking
you're
about.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of them, not just one. As
Yeah, we're on the same
reaches, he reaches down, he grabs Kayron's hand, he pulls him up, and he like pulls him in really close, and he just kind of puts his head to the side of Kayron's face, and he says something that isn't audible. I don't think it could possibly be audible without some sort of like magical. And then he throws Kayron to the side, and Kayron kind of like stumbles off into the direction of the lower cabins. Kayron will arrive downstairs and be treated by Ashberry, in just a few minutes. Kayron, Voros, as you walk off, you're like short talking people like move out of your way. Some people get out of your way in time, some people don't as you're moving through. You're like, pretty healthy, so it's not like you're in a particularly bad spot. Where do you go? Just out of curiosity. As you're walking across the deck of the ship, there is stairs on. There is like you're going towards the back half of the ship, and there is like there's a set of stairs that go up to a spot where you can kind of like overlook the ocean. And then there is one set of steps in the middle of the boat that can go down into the lower decks, the lower halls of the ship.
He's definitely going to go up to overlook, as like looking at his battlefield, staring at all the people, and just find like a barrel or coil of rope, whatever there is up there to like take a sit on, and he's going to start mending his own wounds by doing like lay on hands. So you just see him up there like rubbing his jaw from the punch he took from Jax's brother, and what was kind of like dislodged and starting to swell snaps back into place. Like if you were near, you could visibly hear the crack back into place. And he just moves his jaw around and then goes to everywhere where Kyron hit him. Just there's no glowing aura when he does this either. It looks like he's doing it naturally in a way, unless you were like really close and knew the techniques that he was using. And he just sits up there, looks over, and heals up for a bit.
As things die down, Magnus like hollers out to the crew, to get back to business. People start going back to their duties. You do see that like some people are avoiding you clearly. People are like dropping eye contact. You probably see Magnus kind of give you a little bit of a stare down at one point, just for 3 or 6 seconds before he turns. And he will go to you, Jax, and say, "I'm sorry we were interrupted, brother. It appears that my work must continue. There's much to do. We have to aid this town, assist it in rebuilding, and hopefully recovering as many survivors as possible, if there really are many more. So I'm sure we will need you and your crew's aid. If there's anything I can do for you, let me know. I think for now I must return to Natalia and to my duties."
Yeah, before you go, quick question. I did want to speak with Sevens and Hopsprocket. Last time, I kind of left on a bad note with Hopsprocket. Is there any way you could give him a word to let him know that I might be coming down and talking to him?
I can send someone to let him know that you will be visiting him to prepare himself.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate it.
Gives you a nod, turns, goes back to his cabin. Natalia walks in, closes the door. What do the rest of you guys do? So you're tending to these people. It'll probably take you a few hours with you and Arlo and Ashbury, to tend to everyone there to a point in which you feel everybody's okay. I would argue to say 3 to 4 hours.
Okay.
I do think we ran out. I do believe, if I'm not mistaken, you did use all your magical healing.
Oh yeah, I'm out. Yeah. I'm done.
And that was like instantaneous. You healed a lot of people, but then after that, you're like, at that point, you're actually physically tending to wounds and whatever might be ailing these people. And that part of the process takes you significantly longer. Go ahead.
Sorry, I was just going to say, at some point, I think Vinley would probably go to help if that would aid in the process.
It could. I think it would probably give, how many times can you heal?
Where am I?
Do you have mass healing word?
I don't. I have 3 first. Well, I could do 4 first levels. I have 1 more 3rd level, and I do have Spare the Dying, the cantrip.
Okay. Yeah, I think that would probably speed it up by about half of the time. Actually tending to somebody like the old-fashioned way, especially the severity of some of the people on board. We're talking about like massive internal problems. Bones are broken. Really bad. Anything short of magical healing actually would take a good bit of time to get them to a point where like they aren't actually about to die right now. But if you have Spare the Dying healing words, you'd probably be able to cut that time in just about half. And then Spare the Dying, I wouldn't consider Spare the Dying as like saving someone. In my opinion, Spare the Dying is more like that person's still going to need a whole lot of help, but like they aren't immediately going to die, because in my mind,
like you buy them some time.
Yeah, like in my mind, right, when an adventurer takes a long rest, these people are past the point of like what a wound would be for most adventurers. Because I try to run combat and I try to do combat descriptions as if you get hit and you were healthy, that you probably didn't even actually get hit, or you only got like a little tiny bit hit. And then when you actually go down, that's when like you got fucked up. These people are way past the point of being a little bit, they didn't get like cut with a sword. Like these people have like all of their fucking ribs are broken. Their spine is horribly damaged. Their legs are snapped in half, gone. They have like a wooden plank through their body. They're like beyond the point of just like a normal wound. So spare the dying will buy that. Yeah, it'll buy them some time, but like a regular, a long rest. In my mind, like you get a long rest, and if you're really messed up, there's like magical healing involved. Your guys are all like high level adventurers. There's salves and stuff. It's not like you just take a little nappy poo and then you're all the way back up. I think there's a little bit more to it than that. And I also don't say that the dragon hit you and it bites you and it ripped through your flesh. I like to try to be a little more reserved than that. These people are badly, badly hurt. So I think that process of healing them is strenuous when there's no magic involved. If you could throw a healing word at them, you get them to the point where like, okay, if they get some food, water, and we continue to tend to them, they're going to be all right.
Do at least 5. I guess I could technically do more, but I would have to do like the blood freely given to get a spell slot.
Yeah, that might be weird.
Like, let me heal you, but first I gotta cut myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like Soleil would notice.
Yeah.
How by the way, have you used any more? You have used more of those, right?
Yes, I am.
What's your total at?
Oh my god, is that right? I didn't think that was right. Give me a second. 44.
44?
Yeah.
That is so funny.
I've rolled really well most of the time. I've mostly rolled 4s and 5s, and then I have 1, 2, and 1, 6.
Okay, good. That's good to know. Yeah, so you eventually arrive, so like you're like tending to these people. There's some people that are you have tended I feel like in my mind, right, that you're smart enough to have like you drop the healing tree, you drop some healing words. You did that on the people that were like the most messed up. So now the people that are left are like badly hurt. They're not like right about to die. You're tending to them in typical means when Venli you show up looking for them, and then you offer some magical healing as well. That kind of helps patch up some of the things. And then you still do have to do some old school mumbo jumbo.
I could too. If I take a short rest, I can keep getting my third level spells back. Just wait a minute.
Wait, stop screaming. I will be
Just
right
hold
back.
on.
I have to take a nap. Unbelievable. No patience. Dying people anymore. This generation just can't die right. As you kind of get through that, I think with Venli's help, Arlo, I think it would be cut about in half, probably about around 2 hours that you spend doing that. Ashbury would come up to you guys. She has like since treated Kayron. He's like probably laid just amongst the people in this very large hall that was at one point sort of like a sleeping quarters. And I guess it still technically is, but the beds are all gone. Whew. Thank you for your help. I think that I can probably kind of take it from here, but there's probably a lot more people that are out there. I would think. I mean, the town had thousands of people, and we only have 50. We're supposed to be sending out, I think, boats to find people, and then it's a matter of trying to figure out food. I'm actually really concerned about food. If there's anything you guys could do to help with that, I know that myself and I'm sure Magnus as well would really appreciate it. So I can't thank you enough. And thank you, Soleil, for your gift. And I'm going to try to keep that in mind.
Yeah, I hope you I hope you remember this. We're happy to help. I mean, this was really devastating. I mean, we'll certainly go help see who we can find, and I actually may have a good idea for food. So I might be able to help with that. I'm not sure, but I think I've got an idea to maybe help with this.
That'd be great. Yeah, we've been trying, but our food stores and then just the chaos of everything, it just isn't gonna happen. And we've been trying to hire a new cook. We haven't been able to get like a really good one, and it's just been tough. It's been tough, and this has been like I did not expect this to happen. So we just aren't ready for the. Yeah, the level. We're just one ship. We're not. We weren't ready.
Yeah, we'll do. I think we'll do what we can. Maybe Venley, maybe we can try to go upstairs and see what we can do, help with the boats and the ships, and see what we can do. And I think maybe when we get up there, I think I might have an idea. I don't know if it's gonna work, but I'm gonna try it.
I'm always down to try.
Okay, so maybe we'll head upstairs.
What are you doing? I don't trust you.
Nothing. What? I just have an idea. I don't know if it's gonna work.
So you and Venley head up to the upper, to the top, to the deck.
Yes.
And I guess Arlo as well. I think Arlo is currently monitoring. I don't think he's able to speak, but I would say he probably.
I'm gonna go with them.
Yeah.
Okay. So my idea, because Puck has been so helpful in so many things,
Okay.
I assume that if he comes from the Feywild or wherever he comes from, then maybe he can like bring food with him or know how to like manifest food. So I'm gonna hold my yellow flower and ask for Puck to come, especially since we're not in combat and I'm not afraid that he's gonna die.
You hold your yellow flower, and there's a puff of yellow. Puck kind of like rolls out of it, and he floats there. He looks around, and he turns over his shoulder. His like tongue is flapped out of his mouth, and one of his eyes is cocked. And then he jostles himself, and he sees you, and he turns his body. He says, "Hi, Puck."
Hi! Oh my gosh, I'm so glad to see you. See, I did not bring you in the middle of a battle this time. I thought about it and I wanted you to see like the beautiful sea.
Yeah, it just goes on forever.
Yeah.
Would you look at that?
So there was a little bit of a tsunami, there was a little kraken. It was not.
I remember. I was there.
Yeah, well, I was hoping maybe you'd forget and be like, "Oh, she promised a tea party, and it's not really a tea party. There's a kraken here instead," But
no, that was fun.
Okay, good. Yeah, super fun. So the a little bit of trouble because the tsunami came and it killed everything, and there's no food. Do you have like any way to get food, or would you know some way to manifest food for, I don't know, 50 people?
I eat flower nectar.
Oh, yeah, okay. I assume
Do you like flowers?
I mean, I love flowers, but I can't eat them.
What's your favorite color?
My favorite color? Oh, it's purple. It's got to be purple.
What is he? What just happened?
He throws up a purple flower, and he drops it on the ground. He picks it up. He says, "Here."
Oh my gosh. That is the nicest thing I feel like anyone's ever done. That is amazing. Thank you.
Like, Echo hand puts this like sopping wet, kind of crinkled up flower into your hand, and he says, "I hope you like it." That's my favorite one.
It's beautiful. I love it so much. I couldn't eat it because I wouldn't want to ruin it. But so I guess, is that a no on like, I don't know, strawberries or apples or breads or?
I can conjure some food.
That would be amazing. I mean, I love this purple flower, but I can't feed, people with it. So if you could maybe.
He drops down onto the deck and he shakes his wings, and like this like sparkling pollen comes out and it sprinkles across the deck, and then flowers grow up. And he says, "There you go."
Are they edible?
Of course. And he goes in, he grabs one by the stem, and he brings it in his mouth, and he chomps down on it. They're delicious.
Thank you so much. You know what? You're such a treasure. Thank you. I couldn't ask for anything more. Thank you so much.
I'm glad you like them.
Yeah, this is great.
Look, a lot of them are purple.
Yeah, this is perfect. I thank you so much. I felt bad after the battle and I didn't want to like bring you into another battle, so I don't know. I hope you can forgive me for like dropping you into these terrible scenarios and
Of course, it's exciting. I haven't had any excitement for 89 years up until a little bit ago, or maybe longer.
that's such a long time. Yeah,
How-
I
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
How old are you?
I'm Puck.
Do you not have an age? Like how many years you've been around?
Where I live, there's, I don't know, a long time.
Do you come to this land often or do you live in the Feywild?
How old do you live?
Oh, I don't know how long I live. Not that very long, I don't think.
Like 5 years?
Well, a little more than that. Maybe like 60, 70 years, maybe.
Oh, I'm like, I've watched at least 3 people grow and die.
Oh, so you've been around maybe like 150 years or 200 maybe?
Maybe more.
Were they human? Or were they like elves?
2 of them were people, humans. And then one of them was, I guess they were an elf.
Hmm. This was a friend of yours or?
Yeah.
Oh. Have you ever met a bunny person like me before?
I've seen bunny people, and one of my friends, Babbitt, says that he sees some bunny people, but I think that he's in the wrong flower patch.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, Babbitt. Is this another fairy dragon in the Feywild or?
Yeah, he's my cousin.
Oh,
He's pink.
that's very cool.
He likes yellow flowers, and I don't agree.
Oh, this is very interesting. So you hang out primarily in the Feywild then?
Yeah, we have floating islands, and we live on them. And flowers grow, and Mom plants flowers, and we hang out in flowers, and we tend to the flowers.
Oh, who's your mom? You have a mom? She's like
Yeah,
around? Yeah.
yeah.
What is her name?
Mom.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Does she have like another name that do other people call her something else or does everybody call her mom or?
Everybody that lives there calls her Mom.
Okay. Is she like super nice? It sounds like she's pretty nice.
Yeah, she only comes around once every however long it takes for a flower to grow and then die. And then she comes around and then more flowers, and then we tend to the flowers, and that's where we come from. We come from the flowers.
Oh. You're like born in the flowers or
Yeah.
you? Oh. Okay.
And then we tend to our little brothers and sisters.
But you also eat flowers?
Yeah. Yeah.
Are they the same flowers?
No.
Okay. I was very concerned there for a minute.
Different flowers.
Okay.
Oh man, I would love to see this whole flower garden
You
where you
would?
like.
He grabs you and just poof. And Valen, you're standing there, his little gecko hands and his little gecko legs grab her by like the shoulders and the head, and he says poof, and they both poof. And just
Soleil!
Chalet, you come to. It literally is instantaneous. You don't like. It's very jarring to the senses because it's not like there's not a portal of light and then all of a sudden you're standing in a new place. You are just here and then you're somewhere else, and before you can blink, you as you look out around you, there is like endless ocean. Forever, it seems. You can see on one side of the sky because of how high up you are. So, like all before you is just a field of flowers that are neatly packed into these rows of color. It's like pink, blue, purple, yellow, green, just in these rows. That where they're all very orderly, and there's a bunch of little fairy dragons flooding around, going from various patches to patches. You see little fairy dragons that are like flying upside down very lazily, just little fairy dragons clinging to flowers and like smelling them, and then like taking a big whiff, falling to the ground, rolling around. As you look out, you initially, I guess you don't know direction wise. Maybe you give me a survival check, but I do suspect that it'd be very, very high because I think it would be very jarring.
Oh, I rolled a 7.
So it's very, you don't have like a directional here, but your initial view is like all ocean and flowers, and as you kind of take in the environment, this side of the sky, directly ahead of you, is mostly blue. And then as you kind of turn your body, you see that there's a side that's like twilight, and they kind of meet in the middle where they kind of start blending into each other. And there's kind of like a pink, purple, orange haze in the middle. And then you can see that above the ocean, there's a bunch of other these little dotted islands that are floating up here. And then you can see that there is a landmass off over the ocean in which the sky almost seems to be like over top of. And then it's this very odd, like the sky seems to be over there. And then over here, the sky almost like bleeds out into like almost like a white color. Where like the closer, like you're getting more to the edge of something. And as you look out over the ocean, you can see where over that way, like out into the ocean, you can see where like the sky kind of comes back like way off in the horizon. It's very strange. It's a very strange sort of sensation, but it almost seems like existence is over there, and it almost looks like we're almost phasing out as we get farther and farther over here. But you see this gigantic flower garden, and then all these islands dotting the sky. And Puck says, "Here!"
Oh my god, we're here. Puck, this is amazing.
I think so.
I've never seen anything like this. This is so this is where all your brothers and sisters and like everybody, did you grow up? Is this where you live?
Yeah, we live here. We fly around and we go where we want to go. Sometimes we have jobs, and then, we do what we have to do. We eat flowers. We do games, mischief. We take naps.
That is, I am just, this is the most amazing thing I've ever seen. I can't even, I don't even know what to say. This is like so beautiful. Thank you for showing me where you're from.
You're welcome.
But I don't want to be rude, but I do need to get back to my friends. I wasn't expecting to come here so quickly, but this is great. I mean,
you want to go back?
I mean, I do because my friends are there, but this place is so amazing.
Look, there's Babbitt, and he starts fluttering off.
I guess I'll follow because I don't know. I guess I'll just chase after him.
You're like trying to get his attention, and he flies over and he like attaches himself. The flowers are quite big. They're like very large. The Puck is probably about that big, and his wingspan is probably about twice his size, but still, he's not very big. He has sort of a gecko-like look. His head's sort of rounded, big eyes, and his tail's like kind of curled like a chameleon's, and then he has these like padded little feet. And hands, I suppose. He has like 3 fingers and then like a thumb-ish sort of appendage. And his skin is like blue dotted with green. I don't know if I feel like I've given him a physical description, but it's been a while. And then he does have like two little like kind of butterfly like antennae. Babbitt looks just like him, but he's kind of purple, and instead of having the blue green, he's like purple yellow. Puck flies over, and he says something to Babbitt in a language that I don't believe you understand. And then Babbitt says something back. Puck looks back to you and says, "Hi, I'm Puck."
Oh, hi, Puck. Yeah, we know each other.
What are you doing here?
You brought me here. I was kind of hoping. Well, could you introduce me to Babbitt? Can I say hello? You said this was Babbitt, your cousin?
This is Babbitt.
Oh, hi, Babbitt.
He's my cousin. Babbitt looks at you and he licks his eyeball.
That's so nice to meet you, Babbitt. So Puck, listen, I love it here. This is amazing.
I'm so glad you love it here. How did you get here?
You brought me here. You poofed me here from my ship. Can you do that and take
He's
me?
gone.
Oh my God.
Venley, you see Soleil just disappear. She mentions the word poof, and Puck gets like visibly excited. He just like grabs her, latches on, he poof, and then they both pop in this like sparkle of gold. And then Soleil's just in a moment just whoop, gone.
What is the way? Somebody, where'd she go? Help! My friend is gone! A fairy dragon stole her!
What do you I don't think people know how to respond to that, for the record.
Is this for Justin Timberlake, Peyton? Is this?
The fact that you just reminded me of Justin Timberlake when you're in this predicament.
I thought that was for. Okay.
Now you're in so much more danger.
No, I won't bring it up again.
No, it's too late. Now you were in so much. You were in so much danger. I love Puck. He's my favorite. He does this to everybody. This has happened 4 times. You're not the first, and you won't be the last. Finally, as you're panicking, Soleil seems to have just vanished before your eyes. I mean, she did. She vanished before your eyes. Arlo, you're also there as well. What do you guys do?
Oh my God, does it even have teleportation or, I don't know, bring back my friend spell?
I think that you're on the deck. Jax, where are you? What are you doing?
So, in the timeline of like the fuck stuff, I mean, I'll probably not be focused on my own stuff, but like how loud will it be?
I'm sorry, you're a little quiet.
Hold up, it's not very quiet. Can you hear me better?
Yeah, it's a little better.
Okay, what about now? I think I just messed with the volume a little bit.
That's good. That's good.
Okay, so I did want to talk to Hops. How do you say his name again? I'm sorry.
Hopsprock Venelby. His name's
Hopsprock
Venelby. Yeah. I said Hopsprocket. His name's Hopsprock Venelby.
I'm going to say hopscotch by accident, and I'm going to feel really stupid. I know I am. So Hopsprock.
Okay. I've already said his name wrong, too. He's got a tough name. No, I give gnomes like these funny little naming conventions. I think it's so funny. And then it's always like, I never can get it right. So, Don't blame yourself. This is my fault.
Yeah, so I wanted to talk to Hop, and I also wanted to talk to Seven. So I'll probably talk to Hop
That's
first.
good. I would say that he has sent word to Hop Sprock. As you are going up, the fight ended. They get 2 hours. So yeah, I would say that in the time that you were actually journeying to Hop Sprock, they're probably still tending to people.
Okay.
Hop Sprock. You go down into his office, into his lab, rather. And he's kind of running around like mad. He's got all these different vials and tubes and stuff going. There's like some stuff that's boiling. There's some stuff that's like over like an ice. There's this liquid that's like boiling. Then it goes through these tubes and it goes to like this ice sort of bath. And then it kind of changes substance, changes texture. And then it like pours from the bottom out into a different dispenser. At which point it's then like superheated. He has like this like thing that's like occasionally going off. I think when you walk in, one of it goes off and it like plasmids this super cooled liquid and then like superheats it, which then like turns it into like this almost like gas liquid form. This really strange sort of like alchemical, not natural substance that sort of like floats up into some tubes and then into like just a big copper sort of containment thing that in time, it doesn't do it now, but it has like a pressure gauge that is like building, and he's kind of running around checking dials and shit. He like runs over, he like writes something on a piece of paper. He runs over, flicks down some goggles. He's like checking all the different things, make sure everything's working correctly. He's just in this like panic, moving around doing all this stuff all at once. And he would not like immediately come to. He wouldn't recognize. He wouldn't come to you.
When he's doing all this, I'm gonna like I'm an artificer. Like I do like a lot of work like this kind of. Can I like see what he's doing and try to maybe help him and ask if he needs any help?
Give me an Arcana.
Oh, my rolling thing is gone. Hold on, let me bring it back up.
You.
Oh, I'm gonna use an enhance ability and I'll do intelligence.
Okay.
I got a 21.
You don't know exactly. He's clearly doing an alchemical process. Judging by the color.
I'll use. My bad. I'll use Flask of Genius. I'll get a 26 if that helps.
Okay. He's clearly doing a chemical process. You can tell that because of this very like complicated thing he's trying to do. He is trying to make more of a substance with less of a product, and it looks to you, judging by as you kind of take in the room and you see the ingredients that he's using. It seems like he's trying to make like he's trying to stretch healing potions. He's trying to make like huge batches of healing potions from a small amount of ingredient, and he's doing that by using this magical, intense alchemical process to he's going to make like a bunch of like that'll just get you by healing potions because of the severity of the situation.
Yeah, and basically I want to help him. I obviously don't want to do like the work he's doing, but I just like I can see he's panicking and running around a lot. I just want to like help him prepare stuff just so that it's more like controlled of an experiment, just so it's like easier for him to do this.
You get that 26 in the Arcana, and I feel like you did technically like you have received artificer training. So I think that 26 encompasses the fact that you do know what he's doing.
I also don't know if the professor did work somewhat like this, but I was like his apprentice for multiple years.
I think that your professor would have done all sorts of stuff, and I don't think he was an alchemist. Like that wouldn't have been his like main shtick, but I think he would have known the basic principles of alchemy. And this isn't super complicated. It looks very complicated, and it is complicated, but this is pretty low level stuff. It's still a lot of work for one person. This is the kind of thing that usually 2 or 3 people would be doing as a team, monitoring different stations, making sure that all the processes are happening correctly. So you kind of get yourself in there, and he kind of bumps into you. He's like, "Oh, my, hello." Just his little glass, the little goggles he has on that kind of flick down. You kind of come into focus for him. You can see his face is like covered in soot. His beard is just like, his hair is just like. He has this like little jumper. He has this little this jumper on, and then just this like really dirty kind of brown shirt. All these little gadgets and gizmos like in various pockets. He has like 100 pockets, and he looks up at you. Excuse me, I'm very busy. I'm sorry. Do you mind if I just scoot by? And he kind of like tries to get around you, and he like runs over to the side, and he says, "If you don't mind, just backing up a bit. I'm very stressed, working very hard. I don't think there's a line, but if there is one."
Hop. Okay, can I call you that?
He says, "I don't care what you call me right now. We'll deal with that later."
Okay. I'm used to this type of work. I've done this type of stuff before. I can tell you're dealing with healing potions, and you're trying to kind of make more than what you have the ingredients for. I can help you out with this. This is normally a multi-person job, and I can see you're panicking a little bit. I could do the smaller work, the easier stuff, but just stuff to help you get this done a little easier.
Yeah, I can tend to this half. I can tend to the boiling and cooling process. If you can tend to that pressure barometer and make sure that section doesn't go up in smoke, because if one drop of this distillation goes in there at the inappropriate level, the whole thing's fucked, and I've wasted my whole day.
Got it. I'll get to it, and I'm gonna start dealing with that.
So now that he's only going between like 2 stations and you're going between 2 stations, after about 10 minutes, he kind of calms down. He's still jumping back and forth a little bit, but now it's more manageable for him. He says, sorry for being testy there. I just had a long day. A lot of stuff has happened. Is there something that I can... Obviously, I did get word. I remember somebody saying that somebody was going to be coming to visit me, but honestly, I wasn't really listening. I guess that person was you. What can I do for you?
Before I get into that, I can get why you were testy too. Last time I came in here, I caused a lot of problems for you, and I really did respect your work, and I really did respect the stuff you were doing here, because I mean, I do this type of work all the time, and it's the stuff that inspires me. So I felt really bad, and I did want to say I was sorry for that.
It's just water over the town we're on top of. It's fine.
Good. That's good to know. And me and my brother also have made up a little bit of sorts too, and I did want to ask you a little bit of a question, because I needed your help a little bit.
Sure. Yeah. Is this task approved by Magnus?
Yes. Well, okay. Out of character, did we talk about... I mean, we needed a way to communicate, so I feel like we did. I just don't know if we talked about that in the last...
You said, can I go talk to him? He didn't necessarily approve a task. I do think that if you said, yes, he did 100% approve this task, it would be assumptions. I don't know that making that assumption would be unsafe or not. That's up to you. He didn't say, like, yeah, you have 100% ownership of Hoppy.
Okay. We basically just made the deal, and actually, you know K-Ron, right? Obviously, he's one of the members, one of the people on this crew. He got beat up pretty badly, and some stuff happened on board, so Magnus ended up having to go away. But we just ended up making this deal, and this is so that we can communicate, just in case, like, he's far away and everything. And yeah, it's just a communication device, so it's nothing sinister or anything like that.
You want me to help you with a communication device so you can contact Magnus, Captain Magnus?
Yes.
I can't promise. I probably can't do it today. And I don't know what sort of magical principles you're going for. If it's a simple box device, like a Vox. If it's something more complicated, that might be a whole different, But if it's just a communication box of some kind, I'm sure we could whip something up in a few days. After I finish with this part of my once that thing is full, and assuming that I get everything, I've gotten the process down correctly, that should get us through for quite some time. So, just kind of crossing my fingers. A few more hours, everything goes well, I'm done.
Okay, nice. When you do get the chance, I wanted to put it in this little guy, and I'm going to take out my little homunculus servant. I kind of wanted to make this thing a way of communication, and it would also make it like a mobile way of talking to him too. But I'll leave this here. We're going to be here for a little bit, especially with the town being damaged and our ship being damaged too.
You're going to lose that? You're going to leave that gadget here?
I was going to leave it here. I'll leave it here for now. If I did leave this here, how would I be able to call to him, though? Would we be able to connect this with something else, and maybe I keep the homunculus servant and I leave something else on the ship? Or how would you do this?
I'll figure. I can't think of it right now, but I can. Only problem is that you should keep. I should take the thing. That thing, you don't want that. If that's going to be our communication device, you don't. That thing looks like it's going to get hit by something at some point, and then the whole thing's kaput, and I've wasted my time.
That's true.
So I'll try to find something a little bit more conspicuous.
Is there any way that you can like put it on my wrist or something, just so, or something like almost incognito or something? Maybe an earpiece or
Like you make it like a watch,
give me a little watch or something. No, yeah, give me like a little watch. That'd be nice.
like a Vox watch. I've never made one of those. And that
Like an
does
Apple
sound-
Watch.
Who said that? Who said? I like that.
Make
idea.
like a Vox watch. I've never made one, but I think that it would just probably be a simple process of repurposing a glyph and a magic mouth spell. Maybe include some principles of the sending spell. I think that it could be done. It's going to be that's a complicated process, but I think it's possible.
Oh, okay, thank you. I appreciate it. If you need someone too that has the sending spell, I can maybe do that. But if you could do it without that, that would be even better.
There's too many people on this ship that know sending.
Oh, true. I bet Sevens probably knows. I was about to talk to him as well.
Oh yeah, no, yep, Sevens. Don't call him that.
What should I call him?
7 smiling stars. If you call him
Oh.
Sevens, he's gonna lose his mind.
I'm so sorry. I'm glad I told that to you though, not to him.
And also, I'm not as touchy as him, but I don't like Hop. Don't like that.
Okay.
I would, if you're not gonna call me Hops, Brock, I would prefer that you call me Venelby. One of the two.
Okay, I'll call you Venelby then, if that's all right. I'm not great with names, and I feel like I'd mess up your name at some point, and I'd feel really bad about it, and I just didn't want to do that.
All right, Dax.
That was my. What'd you say?
What? I said all right, Dax. Your name.
I mean, I'm fine with it as long as you just don't call me what my father called me. I'd be fine with it. So.
What was that?
I feel like you'd call me that if I told you. So I don't know if I should tell you.
Fair.
How about this? If after we get all this stuff done and we help each other out a little bit, if we end up becoming friends at all, I'll tell you.
If we become friends, then I'm definitely going to call you the thing that your father called you.
As long as you don't say it hurtfully. I mean, I guess I'll make fun of you too as well, I guess. But if you say it hurtfully, I'm going to punch you in the face.
I'm very sensitive, and I prefer you didn't make fun of me.
Well, we'll see how it goes because I'm
4'7" and
about that,
balding. Please don't make fun of me.
I'll hold back a little bit. Don't worry.
All right.
Maybe I shouldn't tell you my name anyway because I feel like that would just give you enough ammunition.
Your name's Jax, I think.
It is. You got it right that time.
Is that what your dad called you?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, that's where there was some confusion there for me. Yeah, I would come back. I think everything's good here. If you want to help me finish this process, I think we have another 2 to 3 hours. But if you want to, I think I can handle it. I'm going to be a little stressed. I'd give me an hour, decompress. But afterwards, or maybe perhaps tomorrow, if you want to come by, I can get started on some schematics for creating these 2 interlinked devices.
Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you so much. I'm probably going to go talk to Sevens. If you need my help, though, with the rest of this at all. If you
Don't call him Sevens.
Oh my god, I'm going to do it by accident. 7 smiling stars. Okay.
If you call him Sevens, whatever you want from him, you're not getting.
Hold up. I'm writing a note out of character right now because we're not doing this.
He says here, and he pulls a piece of paper out of his pocket. He writes 7 smiling stars on it, hands it to you.
I do something better. I just write it on my hand. Like.
Oh, good luck. I think you're gonna need it.
I'm like sweating as I'm like going down to Seven's room just because I'm scared of saying his name wrong.
You get out of the lab. It's to you turn right. You go down to the end of the hallway, and 7 smiling stars room is on the left. It has like a porthole sort of thing, but the glass you can't see through it. And it has like little bars. You can see it's like slightly ajar, like it's not completely closed. Like the latch didn't catch. But it looks like it's meant to be closed. How do you announce yourself?
I mean, I'm just gonna knock. I'm gonna say Jax is really nervous. I'm gonna roll like a wisdom roll to see how nervous he is right now. Okay, no, he rolled a 16. Okay, he's gonna be fine. He'll be good.
Give it a knock. The door opens. You see the kind of panther-like tabaxi open the door. He has on a sort of like tunic that goes over his upper body. The hood, the inside of the hood is sort of like a purple that kind of has like a shimmer to it, and then the tunic itself is sort of like silken. It's this black, silky sort of shiny material, this glossy kind of material. And then you can see just the black furred rest of his body kind of coming out from underneath this long tunic that goes down to about his like knees. So from the knee down and then from the elbows down, he's kind of revealed. This hood's up. And he says, "To what do I owe the pleasure of seeing you here?"
Hello there, 7 smiling stars. How are you? It's fine weather we're having today, isn't it?
I haven't been outside today. I considered it, but I decided to stay in my cabin today. I'm sure it is very nice outside, given everything that has happened. I think there's probably the calm after the storm. No?
Yeah, it definitely was a lot worse earlier, and I've actually haven't been outside either. I don't know what the weather's like, so who really knows, you know? He's like sweating a little bit, like Jax is like a little nervous in this conversation, so.
Yes, this is true. Would you like to come in and sit down, have some tea?
Yes, please. That would actually be great. That would calm me down a bit.
He says, there's 2 chairs. You can sit on the bed if you like, but if you're dirty, do not sit on the bed. If you are clean, you sit on the bed. If you are dirty, you sit in the chairs. I will get you tea.
We haven't slept yet, right?
No.
So yeah, I'm gonna sit in the chair then.
You're probably like a little, you're like a little damp still from the tidal wave. So you go ahead and you sit in one of the 2 chairs. There is a little bowl on the table that's it's like a china bowl. It's like black and blue. It's got a lid on top of it. Has like little legs that come out the bottom. There's some candles around it. There's like 2 little saucers on either side of the table before each chair. There is one of the saucers like some crumbs in it and like a little empty teacup. And he puts a tea kettle on this like burner type thing he has, and he does like a snap of his fingers and it alights under the tea kettle, which starts to go. And then he turns and says, "Oh, I am so sorry. I had guests earlier and I did not clean up. Let me take this from you." And he takes the stuff that was on the table, brings it over to the side, puts it down. He kind of stands there quietly as the tea starts to hiss, takes it out, makes a cup of tea for him, cup of tea for you. He puts some herbs in there. You see him pour something else in there, brings it over, puts it down. "Would you like a biscuit or some like the bread? Maybe I have a toffee that I did make."
I haven't had biscuits since I used to have my rations back in the Marines. Let me get one of those.
He walks over and he takes.
Do you like biscuits or do you not like?
Yes. And he
I
takes.
I could have some bread too if you want. I don't want to.
Takes out these he takes out the 2 biscuits. He puts them on your plate. He puts them on his two on his plate. He sits down. He takes his biscuit. He dips it in the tea very slowly. Takes a bite out of it, and he's just like watching you. He's like, How can I be of help to you today?"
I had a couple questions. The first one, I just wanted to know a little bit of information, just because I know that you're a very knowledgeable person. I recently got into a deal with someone, and I wanted to know if you knew him at all.
I believe that I had this conversation sort of with one of your crewmates, Benley. She was concerned about you, or maybe in my mind, Venley brought it up, but it may have been your friend Valen. They brought up that you had met a creature named Gibraltar.
Yeah, he's definitely not a person. He's something. I think creature would describe him well.
He's a devil, a fiend, but this is, they're not that much different. They just operate on a sort of cosmic morality that separates us from them, but spiritually, we are the same type of creature. In many ways.
Okay. So, I know that the Pirate King was able to basically hold him and basically like keep him somewhere and keep him restrained. Is there a way to kill Gibraltar? Would you know any ways? Are we even able to kill him on this plane?
No, you cannot kill him here. You have to kill him here or banish him from here. And then you'd have to go to hell. And then you have to go to his plane of hell, not just a plane of hell. You have to kill him on his plane of hell. And then once you have done that, he will be dead.
Well, sounds pretty easy when you say it that way. Okay. Seems like I'll have to die for that, and I'm not really looking forward to that.
If you kill him here, he will be banished to his plane of hell. At which point, it's very difficult to come back. Somebody would have to bring him back intentionally. There's varying difficulties. I would say it's probably pretty difficult to summon Gibraltar, but he got here at some point, so there could be somebody floating around who could do it. He could manifest will in the world to trick somebody into doing it. There are ways for him to come back, but it's not easy. He can't just once you send him away, he can't just come back.
Because if Valen and Venley talk to you, you probably know that he's back in this plane right now.
Well, he never really left. It sounds like.
Yeah, but would there be a way to find him or summon him if the time ever came to it?
It's possible, but that is above my knowledge. I do not know. There's probably a dark book somewhere that has that sort of knowledge inside.
Okay. Well, I appreciate it. Do you have any other knowledge of Gibraltar that might be useful, or do you think I'll talk to Bentley later about it? Well,
I do believe that I told her pretty much everything there is to know about him.
Okay, I'll speak with her then. And I'm just going to do that out of character because I already know the information. We'll just give it.
Mm-hmm.
You talked about dark books a little bit, and that's actually the second reason why I kind of wanted to talk to you. I found a book recently that I'm not really able to read. Bentley has talked to me a little bit about it, but I wanted to hear your opinion on it and maybe have your help with comprehending this stuff. And I'm going to take out the book I got earlier.
He reaches out. He kind of grabs the book with like both hands. He brings it close to him. He holds it and he kind of like weighs it in his hand and he says, Could I keep this book for some time?
For understanding purposes, or what do you mean? Because I do want to stay here and help actually study here for a while.
He kind of turns it around in his hand and he says, I have never seen this book. This seems to be original. It's in very good shape. He like runs his fingers down the spine around the leather. He says, this leather here, this is the leather of not a creature of this plane. This is if you feel, he like puts it out and you touch it and it feels just kind of like regular leather. It is a little bit craggy and cold. He says, this leather is like still alive. And I can sort of feel an emanation from this book that there is like a binded something. I don't know what. I'm not going to speak to that right now, but I really like to read this book if you would allow me.
I know that you probably wouldn't want to read it out loud. Maybe I can create a machine that can help read it out loud, like as you're reading it or something. Like, would I be able to study with you? Because
I read out loud myself. That's how I read.
I will be as quiet as a mouse. I won't say anything. I'll just sit here and sip my tea. Can I study with you? Would that be all
I do not mind, but I do require you to be quiet.
Okay. I don't know how you comprehend or do anything, but I can help you with some of my tools and some of my magic too with it if that would also help you with
I
getting
have no
this.
requirement for you to. This is a dialect of the people of West Minstrel, the Ring of Fire. This is a language that I know. Just I can read this, but I do have magical means to read as well.
Got it.
This is called
Okay,
this is the Book of Souls, and it says that as he kind of opens it up, this first page is like a synopsis, and there's some interesting claims in this book, I think, and there's this person here that says the Ash, the mother of Ash, would be the correct way to say.
we did find this book, like out of like a necrophilia. Not oh my god, not that necromancy.
Excuse me?
Jax is still nervous from the earlier conversation. Oh god,
That was canon.
long day.
Seth, can I
Oh no,
drop this?
do not get on the wiki, please. Do not put this on the wiki. But yeah, no, it was at a necromancy place, and there was a bone mommy. So maybe
A bone
maybe
mummy.
it was from that.
What is a bone mummy?
You know, like a bone mommy dragon. I've never seen one for myself, but Valen was talking about them a lot.
Was
Talking
she
about how
like
there's a lot
was the dragon a mother before she became the bones?
of. You'd have to talk with Valen on that one. Valen was the one who was talking to me about. He said it was the lore. I don't know what that really means, but I don't know. He seems to kind of understand these things, so I kind of follow him with pop culture.
This is very interesting. I'd like to know about the. Is there a poppy dragon as well, or is it just a mummy?
We had to kill the mommy, but we don't know about poppies. I don't know about any poppy dragons.
Or like a papa?
I hope
perhaps?
not. I hope not. You'd probably be mad at us if there was a papa dragon. So I really hope there is.
Was the mummy dragon on this island?
Yes, it was.
And you did not kill the papa dragon.
Well, there was it got summoned from what? Okay, would I remember like where it was summoned from? Like, would I be able to like? Because I don't remember. Like,
it wasn't summoned. She did something, or she had like a. You weren't in the room actually, but I feel like they would have been. Soleil was in the room.
I thought I was looking from. I thought I was looking from the ledge, right? So like, wasn't I still looking inside?
You didn't. You were looking into a room from a heightened perspective. I think you wouldn't have been able to see everything, especially once all this crazy shit started going down, because like literally a torrent of flesh was like coming from every direction, and like bone and meat and screaming souls were all like, flying into the church. It was fucked up. So I think that like your understanding, I think you'd know. I could see it being that she summoned a dragon made of that stuff, or Soleil would have seen that she like rose up, her like flesh got ripped off, she became a skeleton, and then all that stuff came, and it was like some sort of like death ward, some kind of like very high level ritualistic type spell of some kind.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna tell him that. I'm just gonna be like, it was some high level ritual sacrifice spell, and there was a lot of people sacrificed to create this bone dragon, but afterwards we found this book.
Very interesting, very interesting. Well, if you don't mind sitting, I will read. And I think I may read for some time.
Jackson's done a sip of tea.
He sits down. He starts reading. And this is sort of like a diary-esque. It's a personal writing of somebody's knowledge or their claims of knowledge. This woman, the mother of Ash, is maybe currently, or at least was, a founding member of the Penumbra Society. This book is about 760 years old. But it claims in the book that the cycle of the part that he gets to, this is sort of the beginning of the book, where she's like kind of self-justifying the rest of the book. The rest of the book is like this shit. It's a dark ritualistic magic that does stuff with souls and bodies and, you know, necromancy, but deep necromancy. The first bit of the book that he gets into pretty deep while you're with him, he'll read until probably night. He'll read probably 10 or 11 o'clock, at which point he'll wrap it up. He'll probably get about a quarter way through the book. The part that he gets through is that she claims that the cycle of death is gone because the Ash Garden, the plane of Neshrak, was closed by the Emperor. She just calls him the Emperor. And she will probably refer to him many times, and she will probably say the Emperor of Leones. She would say that the Ash Garden was cut off from the Maelstrom and destroyed. And that now there is no connection to us in Neshrak. She would say that the gates of Celestia, the gates of the seven heavens, they are closed. There is no connection to us and heaven. And that the only thing that is left is the gate, the well of eternity. And that death is now just fuel for the longevity of the high elves of the Empire. She would go on to talk more about that, how the connection to Neshrak is very important because that is the place in between, and that is where your soul has to linger to eventually go to one of the other two places if you're not deemed worthy at the beginning. And that Neshrak isn't this monstrous entity, and that without the connection to him, there is no connection to heaven, and there can only be a connection to oblivion. And then that's where he probably, around there would be a lot of talk about that. There'd be a lot of like name drops. There'd be a lot of like instances of historic events referring to, this is when this happened. This is when, you know, this started to progress. This is when the Emperor went on this war that eventually led to him having to make this decision, which led to him doing this thing. You know, it would be a lot of little things like that, which would then culminate into like, and now we don't get to go to heaven. And that's where it ends for him that night.
Wow, that was a lot, but I would like to talk about this later if you would be willing. Would you want to get onto this tomorrow? Were you free?
I regret that I even have to go to sleep. I would like to read more of this. But yes, if you come here early, I will probably wake up at about 4:45. I will read by candlelight for 6 hours. I will take a nap. I will have lunch. And then I will read again. And then around 5:45, I will do my stretches and my rituals. And then I will read again. So it is up to you to what you want to do.
7 smiling stars. It's not that I don't trust you, but I know that you'll probably want to read it if I don't end up taking it, and it's my only leverage for me learning the information otherwise. So I'm going to take the book back for the night, but I'm going to be bringing it right early tomorrow so we can get started on this again.
I don't think that you should keep the book.
What? Why is that? Who would keep the book then?
I think that I should keep the book.
Well, I can understand why you would want to keep it, but what would you even use it for?
I haven't gotten to the back of the book yet, but I think that the things inside of this book should not just be floating around. They should not just be... I don't think that this is something that should just be put out willy-nilly. I think that we need to... I think that it should stay in this room. I don't think that we should even put this outside. I don't think that anybody should know if any of this is true, if any of this remains. This is old. This is old. and the cosmology, the But here's the thing: I don't know anybody who has a patron that is celestial. I don't know anybody who actually gets to say that I talk to. There's people that think, but Ashbury, she's a cleric, but she's a cleric of the wind elemental goddess Aman. She's not the cleric of a celestial. What if the book is true? And what if for some reason the gates of the heavens are closed? And then what if everybody finds out that's that way that is?
I get what you're saying, but trust me, I've been traveling with things much more valuable than this, and I've been having to keep track of it. I go to sleep every night with an arcane lock on my. Oh, and I'm telling you guys this now. Every night for like the past few nights, I've had level 2 spell slots, so I've been doing this. I've just been doing like out of character. Like inside my Iron Defender, like it opens up. I like put like my like bag of holding inside of it, and I put like it closes up, and I put an arcane lock on top of it, so like no one can open it up. So I'm like 7 smiling stars. I get that you don't want anyone to touch this. I don't either, but I'm gonna make sure that no one does, and I've made sure so far. And I to be honest, I trust myself with it because we've been through a lot, and I haven't seen you really fight yet. I know you're strong, but I know I can keep track of this.
If you lose this and somebody just, I'm just saying, it could be. I don't think that the book might, I think that there's probably I haven't gotten into the back yet, but I think there's probably some very dark magic in there. But I'm not even worried about that. I'm worried about if somebody wants to cause a mayhem, cause a chaos.
The only people I've told about this book is you and Bentley so far. No one else knows the contents within it. So I'm going to keep it that way. And I think you trust Bentley too. So I'm going to make sure that no one else really knows about this.
He's the big bad evil guy. He does kind of have big bad evil guy vibes, doesn't he?
He has a lot of knowledge, I'll say that. So he's pretty knowledgeable.
He gives you the book. Well, I hope that you keep it safe. And if you want to come back tomorrow, like I said, 4:45, I'll be up. And then I will be reading for about 5 hours. That book. Because you're going to be here at 4:45.
Okay, I'll make sure to wake up for that. I'll have an alarm set.
Very good. Would you like a snack for the halls?
No, thank you. I'm good. I appreciate the biscuits you gave me.
All right. You have a good night. I thank you for your time.
You too. And I'm going to leave.
You leave. He stays in his room. Soleil.
Yep.
Puck. You say the word poof, you see Puck's eyes light up and he yells, poof! And then he disappears.
Oh, God. Oh, no. Hey, Bibbit. Hey, Bibbit. Can you call Puck? Do you understand me?
He turns to you and he says, who's Puck?
You know that your cousin, he was just here. I think he was just talking to you.
You mean Finnegan?
Is that his real name? His real name is not Puck?
I call him Finnegan.
Oh, Finnegan. Oh, that's such a nice name. Is your real name Bibbit?
Bibbit?
Yeah, is that your name?
My name's Lyndall.
Hey, so you know how I just appeared out of nowhere? It's nice to meet you, Lindell. You know how I kind of came from nowhere?
I wasn't paying attention. Do you have any maple syrup?
No, not on me. Do you have maple? What?
Cream.
Cream? No, I mean I don't carry food products on me per se.
That's a shame.
Can I can't I can't Druidcraft is like twigs and flowers and grass and stuff, right? Like it doesn't.
No, you can't make like cream. That'd be cool.
That would be so cool. Yeah,
I like
no.
cream. So does Lyndall.
Damn. So Lyndall, yeah, no, I'm sorry I don't have any food. But I'm in like a little bit of I'm not supposed to be here. I kind of got poofed here. Are you able to, could you transport me back to where I came from maybe?
No.
Oh. Okay. Well, oh my god, I have no spell slots. I have nothing. Wait. Okay. Would I know, does the heart tree have roots here?
Give me a nature and or arcana.
Great. It's not good. 10.
You feel no connection to the heart tree.
Hey.
Usually there's like the very little teeny tiniest reverberation, the little teeny tiniest vibration in the world. It kind of feels like, this just comfortable reminder. If you really, really, really focus, you can feel just the teeny tiniest little bit. There's nothing.
Hey, Lindell, I'm in a little bit of trouble here now because I don't know how. I don't know how to get back, and I shouldn't be here. I don't think.
Why are you here?
I have so many questions. I don't know. I said the wrong thing, I think. Do you know anyone who could help me transport somewhere? I have so many things I could give you. I have things I could offer you.
I know 2 people, 2 little dragons like me that can help you.
Okay.
One of them's Mom, and the other one is Puck.
Oh. Do you have a way to communicate with Puck? Do you guys like talk in each other's brains or something? You could send a message.
No.
Oh well. Could
I
you
could go with you and just help if you want.
take me to Mom? You mean, or
Why would you go see my mom?
you said she could transport me back?
What?
Didn't you say she could transport me back, your mom?
Who are you?
Oh, God, I'm so fucked. Hey, friend, your name's Lindell. Could you take me to your mom, please? I have orders. I'm supposed to go to see your mom.
My name's Babbitt.
Fuck. These fucking dragons.
We can go. Who gave you orders to see my mom?
Oh, it was Sir Puck told me to go see her, that she would transport me back home.
Okay. Follow me.
Yeah, okay.
He starts fluttering off. He flies along. He goes to the edge of the island. Then he flies off the edge of the island, and he keeps fluttering off towards a distant island that's hovering off in the distance.
Wait! Wait!
Do you have any wild shape?
Oh, I do!
Fly?
Oh, I do! I have wild shape. Okay, I'll wild... Oh, thank God. Thank you so much. I will wild shape into a bird.
You take the form of a bird. You fly along with him. And he turns and he sees the bird. And he gives it a little nod and he says, "That's nice." And then he keeps flying along. He lands on the next island. He's really slow comparatively to a bird. He's very like lazy. He's kind of like Dory. He's kind of like flying along. And he'll be fluttering, and then he'll kind of like just like suddenly be like, "Oh yeah, chilling." And then he'll like look over his shoulder, and then he'll like acknowledge the bird that's flying with him, and then just like kind of admire the bird for a little bit, and then he'll fly off again in the direction of an island. And he finally gets to the next hovering island over. This one has some old-looking ruins that are kind of covered in vines on the north side of it, and then there's flowers that are all red around it, big fat flowers that are all red around it, and there's a collection of little mushrooms. When Babbitt comes and lands on one of the big flowers, he lands there, he kind of curls up in it, he shoots his tongue out at a mushroom, and it hits it, and the mushroom gets up and goes, "Meow!" And it runs off in a direction, and he goes, and then the mushroom like runs over to the other side of the island, plops itself back down into the earth. And then he looks around and he says, "That's a nice bird."
Yeah, I'll unwild shape back into my bunny self.
He
Hey,
jumps up, he's like,
oh,
"Who are you?"
Babbitt, we met before. You're taking me to see your mother. You escorted me here to Mom.
Is your name Sandbridge?
Yes, it is. Yep, I'm here on official business.
That's convenient. Follow me.
Yep.
He gets up and he starts flying. He flies towards the little ruins. He's going towards the entrance. The ruins go down into this hovering island. They don't look like they make sense geometrically, like it shouldn't go into it. There's like not enough ground. As he's going towards the entrance, he stops and he hovers there for many turns, and he really quickly flies over it and he tackles one of the mushrooms, and it goes, and he kind of rolls with it for a minute. He licks it, and then he flies up off of it, and then he flies back towards the entrance of the ruins, and he kind of lands on the ground, and he's sort of stumbling, and then he walks down the stairs, and he kind of rolls as he loses his footing at one point. He rolls down the stairs, and as he gets about 2 or 3 landings down, just rolling, as he hits the third, he's unconscious.
I think I still have the ring. I think I can still do one spell, maybe.
Okay.
So I'll do a healing word on him.
You use a healing word. He pops back up. He goes, "Who are you?"
Oh boy. I am Sandbridge. Yeah, I'm here on official business. I'm here to see Mom, and I'm in quite a bit of a hurry.
Your mom or my mom?
Your mom. Your mom. I don't think you know my mom.
Do we have the same mom?
No, I don't know. Let's go see your mom, and we'll go check.
Have you been keeping track of the time?
No. Does it look different outside? Like, has it changed?
No, it's all stagnant. Just says, "Oh, me neither." And then he starts hovering down the stairs. He turns to the left. The stairway splits into 2 different directions. As he goes down into this hovering island, he comes into this space that definitely should not be there from a size perspective. There is like a sort of crystalline waterfall that's pouring into a basin, and there are some old ruinous structures that have like glowing glyphs on them. He goes down in there. There's like a lot of mushrooms in here and stuff. There are like these really big blooming flowers that give off a ton of light. The whole space is like purple, pink, yellow, green. These like magnificent lights kind of lighting the walls. It's like almost like there's sunlight in here, but there's not. And he says, you have to go through that waterfall there.
Just walk through it?
Yeah, it'll take you.
Take me where?
It'll take you to where you asked to go.
Can I roll an insight check? Does he even know what he's saying, or is he just saying nonsense and he doesn't even remember anymore?
Give me an insight check.
Okay. I'm rolling a different dice. Oh, not bad. Okay, 17 plus 7, 24.
He's hard to read, this guy, but he seems assured in what he's saying.
Okay, gosh, thank you so much. I'm sorry, what was your name again?
Babbitt?
Babbitt.
Right.
So you're not going to go with me? You don't want to go see your mom?
No, I'm not allowed to see my mom.
Am I allowed to go? Yeah, I'm allowed to go see your mom, right?
You have special orders.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yep. And then I'm gonna. Yeah, I'll walk through the waterfall. I don't know what else to do.
You go through the waterfall. As it hits you, it's not cold or hot, and it's not wet either. It feels like just a little bit tingly, like you're being like sprinkled with dust almost. Like it's just like maybe like sand running through your hand. But instead of any of the irritation, it's just all the softness and that cool feeling. As you go through the waterfall, expecting to eventually hit something, you're kind of walking through for like a while. You're like just walking into waterfall. When you eventually come out and you find yourself on another floating island standing before a pool of water, there is like this kind of growth that's coming up. There's this big tree that's kind of like these golden leaves, orange colors, red leaves, not big like heartwood tree, but just like a big oak tree. And from underneath that oak tree, there's like this wellspring that's pouring out. And that's the waterfall from which you're standing under. And then it's kind of pooling in this basin before you. Around you, there is just a field of purple and pink flowers. There are a ton of fairy dragons here of various sizes. Some of them looks like they're newly born, just like that big. I can't get there we go. There's like little tiny ones fluttering around. And then there's ones that are almost puck-sized, fluttering around. This floating island seems to be much bigger. There's this stream that runs from this waterfall, and it goes into this pool, which then runs through alongside. There's pink flowers on the left and purple flowers on the right. And there's some stone formations that little dragons are resting on, and then it drops off just to nothingness, down to the ocean. The little stream runs up to like this natural step that goes up, and the water runs up the steps. And this goes up to another ledge. You can see that there's some growths up. You can see there's a tree up there. There's some more fairy dragons going as you kind of walk up the steps. One little fairy dragon like lands right on your face, and it sticks to you, and it just kind of stays there. And like its little body's like right between your nose, and the wings kind of open up and occasionally like cover your eyes. When you try to pull it off, you have to. It's like really stuck on there, so you'd have to really give it a good pull. And it's not hurting you; it's just there. As you continue up the steps, you get to this first landing where there are big bulbous flowers that are like enwrapped, and you can see where like the light is piercing through, and there's sort of a shadowy form inside. There's probably like too many to count. There's just a field of these flowers that are sort of bulbous that look like they haven't yet unfurled, and there are little fairy dragons, medium sized. There are medium sized fairy dragons like flitting about them, tending to them. They'll like come to them, and they fiddle with the flowers. They open up, they take a peek inside. They will like put their mouth in there, do something to move on to the next one. There's a little pool here that river runs up to and then into this pool on this second level. And then the water goes to another natural step that then the water cascades up. And as you now can get your bearings on this third step, for some reason, when you were down at the first level, you could not see the third step. You can only see the second step. And when you look up at the third step, you do not see a fourth step or a fifth. So as you came to the second one, it's like this third one sort of like materialized. As you go up to that third step, there is now regular flowers, a field of just regular flowers. The water runs up those steps to the third level, this third step, this third landing. This strangely running river runs through here. There are some larger fairy dragons that are floating around, tending to these flowers. And then as you get up to the third step, you see a fourth step materialize. And that river runs up those steps up to there. You go up there, and here they're just like little buddings, just like the very beginning of a flower. You can see where like they're kind of poking out in these rows. And there are slightly larger, like puck-sized fairy dragons here, maybe a dozen of them that are flittering about. And when you got up here, I forget if that was the fifth. That was the fifth, I believe. The sixth step appears as this thing continues up. When that sixth step appears, it looks like a gigantic, natural sort of crystalline growth that is erupting, just like kind of in the sky. And the water runs off of the edge of this fifth step. And then as if it's just kind of floating through the air, it makes a path that goes up to this like floating crystalline structure. And it just kind of goes through the sky. And you can see where like it touches the crystal, but you do not see an entryway, or it's just like a giant floating prismatic, it's just sort of kind of a rounded pink and purple gem that when you look at it, depending on which way you look at it, it kind of shifts what color is being presented.
Okay. And I don't feel the heart tree here still. Like I still feel nothing.
No.
Are there any of those? I know you said there were like little buds. Are there any of the fairy dragons around, or is it pretty
on the level that you're currently at, unless you commit to some course of action to approach the crystalline structure, there are about a dozen puck-sized fairy dragons.
I'll just kind of turn around and try to find one and say, hey, like, excuse me, can somebody help me?
A fairy dragon turns to look at you. He is green and red, and he has stripes, and he has like two red circles around his eyes. This one has like a little bit bigger eyes, like they look more like a chameleon eyes, and like these big kind of Puck kind of has like cat eyes almost, or more like draconic eyes. This one has like chameleon, and one of his eyes like turns to look at you, and he starts turning in your direction, to look at you. Venli, we left you alone when Soleil started. You started to panic about Soleil. You're panic about Soleil, and gold dust appears, and Puck appears on the deck.
What did you do with my friend? Where'd she go?
Hi, I'm Puck.
I don't care. Bring her back.
Bring who back?
Soleil!
Oh, she's fine. She's back at home. She said that she wanted to be there. Then she told me to poof.
Can you bring her back then?
No, not until tomorrow.
Why not? Why can't you bring her back now?
Because I'm tired.
What?
Do you think dust just grows on wings?
I don't know. Can
Well,
you
it
still be
doesn't.
there then?
Maybe. I haven't stayed here overnight except for when I was in the tower. So, you know, the salty air might dry me up or something. I didn't really think about that. Who are you?
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Why
Why are you freaking out?
Because my friend's gone. You just left her. Where did you take her even?
I took her home.
What's home?
Ruby Islands, the floating crystals, we're off the coast of the court of summer. We're
Okay, all right.
you
You
know.
just keep talking. You have fun with that. I think Lily is gonna dive in the water and is gonna cut her hand and try to help me get my friend back. To her patron.
You cut your hand. How much do you do?
Oh, let's see. That fell 4.
So that's 48 total, right?
Yeah.
You cut your hand and you're swept up to the that coral castle in this abyssal sort of darkness of the sea. Opens up. You're at that long hall, and there's Majorana trying to sing at the head of it, and she says, "Venley, dear, why are you in such a panic? You've gotten through. Seems like you've gotten through quite a bit. I feel like you should be very happy that you are fine."
A fairy dragon kidnapped my friend and took her to the floating isles, but now he's stuck here and he can't get her back.
Did he express interest in eventually getting her?
Yeah, I guess, but I don't. He's kind of distractible and doesn't always remember. He said he could do it again tomorrow.
I never deal with fairy dragons. Never.
That makes
Very
sense.
unreliable. Tricksy. I don't like them very much. The smart ones, anyway. I would say if he brought her to the Feywild, that unfortunately you're just going to need to be patient. You can't communicate with your friend. That's unfortunate. I'm sure it's all going to be fine. If she's on the floating islands, then there's nowhere she can go. And if he's going to go back, then she'll be okay. And there's nothing on the floating islands that would harm a person besides Mistrix. But
Who's Mistrix? Is that his mom that he keeps talking about?
yes, she's the only, I believe, I could be mistaken, but to my knowledge, she's the only ancient fairy dragon that exists, or has maybe existed. I'm not sure. I don't know everything, but yes.
Okay, what would happen if she ran into her?
I don't know. It depends, I guess. It depends on what Mistrix wants. Mistrix might be in a good mood. She might be in a playful mood. She might want to strike up a deal. She might just want to talk. It really depends. Fairies are fickle creatures. I wouldn't pretend to know. They would. Your friend wouldn't be just immediately eaten. That's not what Mistrix would want.
Okay. Maybe I'll see if somebody else has the sending spell or can get in contact with her. Maybe that would help.
She's in a different.
Oh, so it.
She's on a different plane of existence. We are, without going to the Feywild, I cannot go to the Feywild.
Oh, no, I get that. But could somebody try to send a message to her? Like, if they have the sending spell? Like, can they be all like, hey, bitch! That's what Vela does! I assume that's how the spell works!
Let me check. I'm doing a. Let me check real quick. I do not believe. I want to make sure that I'm correct.
About
Yeah,
sending?
it does work on other planes of existence.
There's just a percentage.
A 5% chance. That's stupid. 5%.
You could just use it again.
5%. That seems so silly. Why not just? That's negligible. That's like don't even bother. So yeah, no, you could contact her. Actually, I thought sending didn't work across planes. I must be thinking about message probably.
Message and I think scrying.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I guess I'll go see if somebody is willing to and able to send a message to her.
Do you have? You're not capable of sending message, are you? Do you?
No, that'd be really cool though. Like I could talk to. Oh my goodness, I could talk to so many people. That'd be so fun.
I'm sure there are many people aboard that ship that could send a message.
Yeah, that would make sense. I don't know if they'd help me, but
I would tell her, if you can send her a message, that time doesn't work the same way in the Feywild. The less you pay attention to it, the faster it moves. And to be wary of the Fey in general. Just wary. Especially of the intelligent Fey. I would say that for the most part, the fairy dragons themselves are harmless, but Mistrix, on the other hand, is beguiling, very, very intelligent. And if for some reason she thinks that, you can benefit her in some way, I would just, be very, very cautious. If you want something from her, you might be able to get it, but certainly not without cost.
okay.
I would say maybe tell your friend to wait. If Puck will return, I would say maybe tell her to wait. But if she's going to wait, she needs to pay attention to the time.
How could she do that? Because like sometimes I get distracted and it's like I don't know what just happened, and it's like I thought it was 5 minutes, but it's been a whole hour.
If she has a watch, a dial of some, like a sundial, or even just like something that she can watch that won't physically change. And if she could just count, she could count to herself 1, 2, 3. But if she gets distracted in a conversation or just in the scenery, I don't even pretend to know how the rules work. I don't think there are rules. If you don't pay attention to the time, it will simply pass at a rate of which it chooses.
Okay, then I'm assuming it does whatever it wants.
That is above my. I know many things, and I will always tell you the truth. I don't think there are any rules for the way time works in the Feywild. You just need to pay attention.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, be safe. If you need me, just dunk your head in the bucket.
Got it.
You can handle this. You're going to be okay. She puts her hand up, and you get blown out of the castle. You get like launched up out of the water and back onto the deck.
Hey, does anybody have the sending spell?
I think Balin will be able to send a message.
Does he have spell slots left at this point?
I
don't.
He would have been
Talk
a
to
short
Seven.
rest.
Oh, that's true.
He would have been a short rest, so yes, he would actually. Yeah.
Okay. So I'll relay what my patron told me.
Yeah, 21 words. Hey, bitch. Bentley talked to her patron, and she told me to tell you that you need to pay attention to the time and not to talk to Mistrix. Bye, bitch.
Wait! You gotta tell her to beware of the Fae!
Was that it?
Hey, bitch. Bentley told me to tell you to pay attention to the time and not.
Oh, that's it?
You can send more. You can send like 2 or 3, right?
He can send up to 3.
Okay.
So we're good.
And not to, hey, bitch. And not to talk to Mistrix. And not to trust the Fae.
Count time if you have to. Focus on something.
Count time if you have to. And focus on something.
Can I reply?
Yeah.
Hey, bitch. I'm definitely in the Feywild. Who is Matrix? I don't have a watch. I will try. I'm trying to. I guess that's.
You would have one more, and then you said, I guess, and then that'd been.
And then the next one. I'm trying to get back to you guys. I have a plan. The last one worked really well. I think I'll be okay.
That's what she said. He'd relay that to you.
Okay.
Do you want me to send another one?
I guess tell her Puck can poof again tomorrow.
Yeah, that one's important.
Great.
Hey, bitch. Venley told me to tell you that Puck said he could poof you tomorrow, but count the time. Bye, bitch.
What is tomorrow? The day doesn't change here. I can't tell what time it is now or where I am really. There's a big crystal and some dragons.
You're going to have to wait a solid 30 for that response.
Oh, yeah.
Which could be like 2 days, your time.
Or 7 years, who knows?
Yeah. Yeah, so they could. Oh, fuck. Look forward to
what
new
you get.
character.
You're standing at the top of the step. There's this like watery sort of path that goes up to the crystal. They did tell you to avoid Mistrix. They did tell you to be wary of the Fae. They did tell you to count the time or to pay attention to the time. Actually, both. They said both of those things. Count the time, pay attention to the time. What does Soleil do?
Could I assume that I would have like some sort of chalk or like charcoal or I don't know, something on me that I just want to like, I don't know, maybe like pull my fur or do something on my hand so that I have like something that's not moving on my hand that I can at least look at and try to, like they told me to try to look at something that's static. So I'll try to do that and try to like focus on it as best I can. And then try to turn to one of the fairy dragons and say, like, hey, there's a big crystal. Can someone help me? Do I go through here?
One of the fairy dragons will come over to you and say, hi. What?
Oh, there's this big crystal. Do I like walk through the crystal, or I'm looking for mom? There's a mom somewhere? Mom?
He points up at the thing.
The crystal?
Yeah.
Oh, who's what was the name? Mixtrol?
I don't know. I don't know.
Who's
Nobody tell her.
Miss.
Is her name Mixtrol? What's mom's name? Do you call mom something else, or like do you know a Mixtrol?
My mom.
Okay.
Her name, Mom.
Okay.
Who are you?
All right. I am Soleil. It's so nice to meet you.
It's nice to meet you too.
I'm trying to go meet mom. I'm on my way. I have special orders.
You have special orders?
Yes.
From who?
From outside.
Yeah, you can just walk right up that stream and then go in the crystal.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you so much. That was very helpful. I'm gonna roll an insight check because they told me to be careful of the Fae. Does this one seem
You roll an insight
truthful?
check.
Okay. Natural 20.
Yeah,
It's the only one I'm getting.
He's telling the truth.
Okay. All right. I'll go up to the crystal and like put my big bunny paw on it.
You walk along this stream. It's probably about 10 feet wide or so. So it's not uncomfortably tight. It's like this little teeny tiny thing. But it is weird because you step on it and it has a little bit of give to it. Like it's not like walking on like it goes out over open air. I guess you do have wild shape left, so you could you could technically like turn to a bird or something, save yourself. Still uncomfortable though, as you step out onto it, and it feels like it kind of gives out a little bit. It has that same sort of sandy, dusty kind of quality as the waterfall did. As you begin to kind of carefully walk up to the crystal, you get to where the sand meets the crystal, and as it hits it, the sand kind of like seems to pop like static, like this little pink, purple, green sparkles as it hits the crystal. What do you do to interact with this structure?
I don't know if I could do this. You said it's a big like crystal. Does it look kind of like a door, or?
No, it's just like it's sort of like a rounded sort of oval shaped, very large floating gem that is sort of prismatic. When you look at it one way, it's sort of like pinkish, reddish. When you look at it another way, it's more like blue, purple, and there's sort of this like a spectrum in between. And depending on which way you're looking at it, that color will kind of shift. But it looks to be a solid structure. But obviously, I mean, the stream is hitting it, and it's popping. So there's like something going on. But from your perspective, like just standing there, it would look to be just a solid gem, albeit flying and very large.
Sure.
As these things, tend to do.
Sure. Can I? I'm just gonna, because I don't know what else. I'm gonna say, open, crystal, please.
The dust that you're standing on starts to run up the crystal instead of hitting it and disappearing. And as it runs up the crystal, it's like kind of dispersing behind you, where like you're kind of on like a conveyor belt. It kind of like pulls you closer to the crystal, and you see where like the stream itself is actually like dispersing behind you, so that like if you were to try to turn around right now, there would be no stream. It's pulling you and it's separating itself. The stream runs up the side of the crystal until it kind of forms a pathway, I would suppose. It feels like it makes a little bit of this waterfall like from before, but this time it's running up from nothingness up the side of this crystal, and you can see where it's all popping along the edges of where it's making contact. And it's pulling you along, and it kind of forces you to kind of press against the sand. And as it pushes you, and you feel your body press into that dust, press into the crystal, and then it kind of gives, and you pop out the other side. What are you doing, Jax?
I think he was just talking with Seven Smiling Stars.
You finished the conversation, I believe, and you left. Do you want to?
Okay.
I believe, because he said he was done. He said he was going to. Well, I guess effectively, you stay with him all night long. So until
that's what I'm saying. So I don't know if anyone told me about this.
That's fair.
Yeah.
You're so in Sev's room. You're just sitting.
I wish I did know, but yeah, I don't think I would, because I've just been focused on this.
Arlo, are you able to talk?
Yep.
All right, let me go to this very quickly. Very, very quick. You sent me. What was that? Did you want to send a message?
Yes.
Tell me about that.
So I'm gonna send a message, and So the whole skeleton dragon thing that happened on the last island or this island? That was the last island, right?
That was this island. This island is known to possibly give me a history check really quickly. I want to see if you know it by its original name or if you know it by the current name, which is Gold Shore.
So I thought we fought that dragon on the island that got flooded.
Yeah, that's where you are.
That's where we are still.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, we're just on the ships. That's right. Okay.
Yeah. Can you give me a history check real quick?
Yeah.
I might have actually mentioned this to you guys, but I want to see.
I got a 18.
This island at one point was effectively Virajan territory. A like subspecies of a sort of Naga-esque siren species that lived that is native to Viraja, occupied this island like long ago. And this island itself is called Yamie. That is its Virajan name before it was occupied. And now it's just known as Gold Shore. Your character knows enough, and you've been a sailor and everything, where you know it by, you are able to know its original name, which is Yamie. Which is good, because that's probably what the people that you're talking to would probably refer to it as.
Okay.
So you send a message to Hashishiren stating what has happened.
Yeah,
you can synopsisize that for me. What I'm most curious about is what your intent, like what you would want back. If you're like saying like, this is what's happening to me, this is what's happening here. How can you, if you were to like ask for assistance or like direction, if you were to be like,
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I was gonna ask, like, basically, ask her when, I'd be receiving any kind of information on what they needed me to do and how I could help. After everything that happened.
You write that message, you put it into your gourd when you're in private, I presume, obviously. How do you I'm going to say that could have happened either because I feel like you are actually on deck when Soleil disappears. So the gourd
I was going to say, I
happens,
also wanted to put that in my message.
That they got poofed. That's somebody I know just got poofed into another plane.
Yeah.
So I think the response to that message, because you're going to send that tonight, and you're going to get a response for it probably tomorrow, as there is motion that has to happen from Hashishiren to other people. I will say that I don't think that Soleil would reappear for any of you on this adventuring day. So, at some point, Arlo, you would have to tuck in. So before we do that, I'm going to say, Voros, you hang out on that upper balcony, or not balcony. You're at the back of the ship. You're on that raised deck. You would see this chaos go down. Would you engage with that, or is that not your problem?
Would I recognize what type?
You would know that you would know that there's a. You would know that the. Actually, yes, you would know that the Bujaran, because you would know them as Bujarans.
Yeah.
Which is what they're known as. But I think people around here might not refer to them as that. They probably just be like, rabbit folk or bunny lady,
Dinner.
But you would know them as Bujaran. So you would know that that's a Virajan. That might be a good thing for you, I would think. Maybe not. I don't know. Or it could even be like something that annoys you because of your, I don't know, because of your situation. Maybe that bothers you. I'm not sure. You would see that Bujaran. You would see that she's with a GIF. So that's, again, kind of double up there. And then she gets vanished.
Do I see what did it?
Yeah, you would see that there's she. Give me a perception check.
18.
You would see her take out a flower. She's talking to the people that are near her. There's enough space on the deck where it's pretty clear, like you're able to see them pretty clearly. She takes out a flower, holds it up. It kind of puffs with golden like light, and this little blue sort of butterfly dragon thing comes like rolling out. Turns her, and they kind of have a conversation over the course of maybe 18 seconds. At which point he like kind of goes and like hugs her, and then they just both disappear.
And then I see Vinley like
freak out and jump into the fucking ocean, I think, actually, is what happens. Yeah. And then gets shot back out like 6 seconds later.
I think Arlo comes back first.
And I think Arlo's just standing there like.
Yeah, he's not worried about it, but he is thinking.
I feel like in my mind, that's what Arlo's doing. He's just like kind of standing there like. Yep.
You're just pouring a cup.
Yeah, he sits down, like pours his gourd into the. Yeah, he just sits there and waits. He's like, yeah, this is what happens.
Yeah, Voros just stares at this whole situation, and he's just like dumbfounded and confused. And the biggest question on his mind is, how are they still alive? Especially after the tidal wave. He is like completely baffled.
That's fair.
He is not going to get involved whatsoever.
That's fair. Yeah, I think that's fair. So you're like, no, that's not my bit. You're like, nah, I'm good.
You did it. You figure it out.
That's fair. That makes a lot of sense to me from a character perspective. So then really, Venley, eventually, I think that you would probably have to calm down. Or maybe not. Maybe just panic all day long, you know? Puck is with you, and he will accompany you.
Yeah, I know. I think I would definitely like calm down at some point, and then I would remember that I have a book about Fae. I don't have any spell slots. I can get another spell slot through blood freely given.
Okay.
Because I need comprehend languages to read it, but I want to try and maybe read to see if I can find anything about Mixtra, and fairy dragon to try and.
Do you cut yourself again?
Yeah.
How much damage you do?
5.
You cut yourself. You use the kind of coral sort of structure that comes out of your hand. Cut yourself. It kind of absorbs that blood, and you feel like a little bit of a sear of pain as your arm kind of lights with there's this kind of deep gnawing sort of pain in your skin, like a burning sensation as your arm begins to blacken from the coral out. Your hand begins to get consumed by a blackness that then stretches up your arm to just below the elbow. And then the area that turns black, which is sort of this like wispy, the top of your arm doesn't get covered in black. So it's all the bottom up to the just below the elbow. And it's sort of like wispy around the sides of your arm. So like this is all black. And then there would just be like little tendrils of blackness that kind of creep up the side of your arm. And then that all begins to light with color. So like the coral that's in your hand is like pink, purple, yellow colors. As that blackness takes over, there's this burning sensation under your skin that then lights like pink, purple, yellow, red, kind of up your arm. Then it all kind of blends together and bleeds together, so that it's this like very strange sort of tapestry of color that sort of becomes unified but also chaotic. And then that burning sensation ends, as then you feel a very shocking sort of sudden eruption of pain as the coral erupts out of your palm of your hand, and then another little piece of coral erupts out of the palm of your hand, and another one erupts out of your arm, like right around the wrist, and then just coral structures begin to rip through your skin out of your arm on the underside where that color has spread, as it then finally ends.
Is my arm coral now?
Not the whole thing, just this underside area. There's this sort of entire coral. Yeah, I mean, I would say yes. The answer is like kind of yes. Your arm is like half coral.
It's kind of cool. I think if I would look at it, it would be like, okay, I got to deal with that later. I want to try and get this information.
So you do that. You give this blood to this coral. It grows. But it does give you a spell slot like you wanted, so you can cast comprehend languages.
Yeah, I'll do that, and I'll go through the book 7 gave me to see if I can find anything about fairy dragons or this mixtra or.
I like to do for this. I would probably say it's a history check. It could also be a Arcana check, perhaps. I feel like history is probably the best. I mean, I guess maybe you can even make an argument for investigation if that's better. But I feel like it has to be one of those three. It has to be history or Arcana. Or
they're all the same for me.
What'd you get?
Let me roll. Oh, that's not bad. It's got 17.
It's gonna take you a little while. Puck's like over your shoulder, and he's like, "Hey, I can read this."
Oh, I should have asked you then beforehand. Maybe.
You have the comprehend language on. You start reading it, and he's over your shoulder, and he's whispering in your like ear, not like on purpose, but he's like talking as you're reading, and he's saying words out loud as if he's reading, and he's not reading the same shit you're reading.
Okay. Like, no, but good thing I didn't.
He's like, and the apple scotch butter warrior went down the street, and he found the little baker lady and gave her 2 butterscotches. And you're like, what the fuck is wrong with you? He's like, you haven't heard this one? This is one of my favorite stories.
Yeah, no, not one of the stories my dad told me.
It's going to take you a little while. You're going to have to kind of commit to it. It's going to probably take about 4 hours to search through this book, find the Fae area of the book, go through the Fae area of the book to then find mention of Mistrix. But you will be able to find it before the day ends.
Yeah, I'll spend
What do you want? What are you looking for? Specific? Is there anything specifically you want to know?
I'm gonna be Valen's voice in the background. There's no control F.
I guess like her motivation of like what potentially she might want, any potential of like weaknesses or of like ways to deal with the like tricksiness.
What the book would tell you is that she is aligned to the King of Sun and Sword. She exists within his domain. She is on his side of the Neverendum, which is a river that runs between the two sides of the Feywilds and separates the summer and spring courts from the fall and winter courts. She detests, it would tell you in the book, she detests the Hag Mother. She's not super into the Queen of Night and Magic either, but it probably wouldn't be like this would be her motivation. I don't think that like it's something that people get to deal with her very frequently, certainly not enough to really make mention. These creatures, this would be more like some of these things might have a little bit more detail. It would be kind of random. Like sometimes there might be like more of an like actual historical account, where other times it's more like a mythology book.
Yeah.
Where it's like, this is what we know about this creature that is kind of above our understanding. And, and some people would even say like, oh, it's not, this is, some people like a regular folk maybe would be like, oh, that's all bullshit anyway. Like, the fuck are you talking about? Fairy dragon lives on a floating island. Go fuck yourself. But The book would tell you that she is aligned to the King's Sentence Sword. She detests the Hag Mother, and that is mostly like the power plays that she is in control of. Is generally trying to get one over on the Hag Mother. That is her goal most of the time, or it's to benefit the Springer Summer courts in general, to further her own goals of having more control in those domains versus the domains of fall and winter. So generally, it's going to be about securing the safety of her. Really, I would say that it would be if she is most concerned with the safety of her brood.
Okay, I get that, but King of Sun and Sword is not somebody who likes us a lot right now, and pretty sure my patron comes from the Hag Mother, so hopefully she doesn't realize Slay has any connection to us. I guess maybe I would too, like, because I guess technically Valen would have spells on, so I would see if he could send that too. Like, don't mention us if you do talk to her, and just appeal to saving her.
Wait, write this down.
Children.
Write this down because she's not going to get it yet, and I'm going to send it at the funniest possible time. Whatever's the most dramatic time for her to receive that message is when she's going to receive it. But I want to know what you just said.
Okay. Oh gosh.
Right into Discord.
Oh gosh, I don't even remember what I just said.
You were talking about not telling her.
Yes.
Carl. Oh my god.
Hey bitch. We're gonna start with that.
Hey bitch. We have to start with hey bitch. So we got hey bitch.
Always. Hey bitch. Don't tell anyone.
Don't tell anyone.
There. About your connection to us. How many words is that?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. You have 10 more.
She likes power and protecting her brood. Appeal to that.
Power and protecting her brood. Hey, bitch, don't. It's 11, so that's 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Appeal to that. Yeah, that's right. Appeal to that would be 21. Got it. Arlo, later that night, as Valen has sent this message, you guys don't get a reply to it. It goes out, but you don't get a reply. Arlo, you send a message out through your gourd. And as things are dying down this day, you find yourself a space to live, to rest. Your ship is still unfurnished, so you're probably going to stay on the Dawn Hammer. Everyone, for that matter, not just him, obviously. Hold on. I need 1 second. I needed that. Okay. I'm okay now. As you settle in, you've sent that message. In the middle of the night, maybe when you're sleeping, maybe when you're just starting to drift off, you would hear a voice in your head that would just kind of come out of nowhere. And it would say, yeah, I don't like the word brood in this context either. It's not what it says. That's what I said. You hear a voice that kind of suddenly pierces through the silence. You just hear the rocking of the ship, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere. Dude, does Hashishira know you by your name, Arlo? Or did you tell her a different name?
I think I told her it was Arlo, yeah.
I'm just making sure. I couldn't remember because it's been a little bit. You asked them for direction, right?
Yeah.
Have you expressed? I want to be really clear. I want to make sure I know everything before I respond to this because it could be. I want to make sure I respond in an appropriate way to how your character feels. Do you feel loyalty to Viraja and the Wabanashi and that whole movement, like in totality? Have you been expressing that you do?
I'm
Or
extremely sympathetic to the idea of the cause, which is like the freeing of like all of the enslaved people. Where I stand as far with the movement itself, yet I'm unsure because like I've just been introduced to them.
you hear a voice in your head that says, "Hello, I am Kami. I'm the Empress of Araja. I want you to know that Hashi Shiren speaks highly of you." I'm pretty sure that was 21. That might have been 19 or 20. She'll send another message. Another sending, rather.
Oh, what was your name again? Well, oh man, I just forgot
Kami.
the name. Okay, that was pretty easy. Okay, I'll say hello, Kami. Uh, what's going on?
Very cash. Very cash. She says, the messages that was sent from Stonebreaker's Gourd. I understand that you have a soul shard in your possession.
I don't think I told her about the shard.
You told him you. I'm pretty sure you said you did. You said that you
I said
found
we had the
one.
con shard. I don't think we told him about the.
Was that what we were referring to? Was the con shard, not the soul shard?
Right. I don't think I told him about like the soul shard being the shards that are like scattered around.
You told him that you. What would you have told him about the soul shard?
Like, the only thing I really told him about so far is where we've been. That I might talk to like other members of my crew about joining, and what to do next. Really, I haven't told him about the shard, but I told him that about like we fought like the Harpy Mommy, and the Dragon Mommy, and and the
You told
sea
him about
monster
Laughing Jack.
and Laughing Jack. Yeah, I did tell him about
Did you
Laughing
tell them
Jack.
Laughing Jack has soul shards?
Has a soul shard? No, I didn't tell him that.
Okay. Let me retcon the last 3 words of that then. She would say, the Hashishiren has communicated your messages from Stonebreaker's Gourd. And I understand that you are currently near Minstrel. Is that correct?
That is correct. We're somewhere near Minstrel. What was the name of this place?
Yamie.
Yummy, yeah. Something like that. Yummy something.
She would say that I understand that a hero of our people is currently in Minstrel. And I want you to be the one to make contact with them. And I want you to form a Wabanashi cell.
Okay, who am I looking for?
Hold on. I will tell you in a second.
And how will they know that, we can trust each other?
You are looking for somebody that goes by Golden Eye. they're going to be hard to miss. When you talk to them, tell them the Rising Dawn sent you.
Okay. I'm guessing I distinguish them from their golden eye.
She won't talk to you anymore.
All right. Well, sounds good. I hope you have a good rest of your night too.
Look how casual you're keeping it.
And see you, bitch.
Bye, bitch. Soleil, you feel yourself pushed through the crystalline wall, come out the other side into a perfectly flat mirror-like plane where it's just kind of, it looks like it kind of goes on in all directions. So when you look one way, there is a reflection of yourself that continues on forever. When you look the other way, there's a mirror-like reflection that continues on forever. When you look down, there's a mirror-like reflection that continues on forever. When you look ahead, you see that this room kind of continues on, sort of just like off in the distance. When you hear a voice that says, "Who are you to step into my chambers?" And that's where we'll end the session.
Oh, fuck.
Oh my god.
I'm eating biscuits and reading right now. I'm having a good time.
Yeah, what? Yeah. Oh god, I'm so sorry. I really thought that was going to go differently. I thought he had like produced food or like, oh, I'm a fairy dragon. I just keep like coconuts in my pocket. Like,
No,
I have crackers.
yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, he has big mom energy.
Do you actually use like Fae folktale lore with the cream and everything?
Oh, I'm very familiar with Fae lore. Yeah.
God,
When I walk through the
you're
woods,
fucked.
when I walk through the woods with my kids, I tell them to stay right in front of me. And
Yeah.
and I'm like, the fairies will come and get you. If you were to ask my son about it, he'd be like, "Yeah, my dad tells me that the fairies will steal me if I don't stay in front of him in the woods."
Well, we know who Peyton's favorite patron's gonna be. Just fucks with the entire party. Well, have fun with the dragon.
Yeah, I was not expecting to like not be able to get back. So
I don't know. I thought the whole Venley thing was also pretty crazy too.
it was sick.
Dude, the arm, like, oh my god.
So sick.
How are you gonna hide that?
I like how
Yeah.
Venley didn't even say anything. She was just like,
Yeah,
oh,
she's just
cool.
like, oh, it's fine.
This is a problem for later.
I'll deal with it later. It's no problem.
I'll send you an update. I have to send all of you guys an updated artifact item. Like I sent you, Caitlin, for Starfall. So I'll work on that next week, getting all of you guys an updated artifact item. I made like pretty little PDFs for them, so it's easier for me to keep track of rather than Discord. The Discord thing was too chaotic. It's easier if I have like an actual PDF for them. And I think it looks better. It's cooler. I don't know. It's nicer. So I'll send that to you, Venley, because you got level 2, I believe.
Yeah.
Because you already have level 1. Because level 1
Yes.
was 15 HP. Level 2 was 45. So you got your level 2, which is that. And I'll send you what the benefits are for that. I will make sure I remember to do it. All right, well, we'll be okay. Everything's fine. We're safe. You're all good. So it's
That's
totally
this party's motto. We're
Yeah.
good. We're all fine.
Everything's fine.
We are all metaphorically and spiritually the dog sitting in a room on fire going, this
Yes.
is fine.
Totally.
dog on fire. Exactly.
This is fine.
As long as you studied Kiwi bird law, I think you'll be good with this.
Where is Kiwi? I assume on the ship?
I think
Just out in the
Boros ate her,
sea,
right?
like eating.
Yeah, she's just standing on the ocean somewhere, looking around,
Yeah, just
screaming.
She was running on top of the tsunami.
I should have had Kiwi appear and like save Venley. That would have been cool. Man, I missed opportunity. Fuck.
There's a lot of NPCs you gotta take care of.
yeah.
I messed up. Oh no.
Pepper, Gray, all of them. Like, where the hell are they at during all this shit?
I think they're probably because it's still we just got on the ship after the tidal wave, so I think they're probably still. They probably were even actually, in hindsight, in the area where Soleil was like healing people, and then Jet got Violetta like a room, so that's what they are. And I think everybody else, like Pepper, B and Bob, Harkin, they're probably Gray, Hatanabe. They're probably all. Gray and Hatanabe are fine, actually. It's Harkin, B, Bob, and Pepper that are probably being. They were probably like Soleil might have even healed herself, or Arlo might have healed themselves, or Venley, or somebody.
That's another thing we got to do too. We got to talk to Captain Jet because we still didn't even get that resolved, and I still think he thinks that he's getting the ship. So, that's another thing we got to do.
Yeah, it's definitely our ship.
No, there's stuff there for sure. Yeah.
Bentley coming in with the. I was gonna say Bentley coming in with the comms though was super clutch. That was really, really cool.
I'm excited for when we get out of this portion, we enter into like the second act, and then we get to do because now we get to be open world. So like that's gonna be fun, and you guys can do whatever you want, and things will be a little bit more. There's gonna be like a heroic portion where you guys get to feel powerful again before I eventually ruin your lives.
Kill all of us.
Yeah. Before I eventually hurt you deeply, but there'll be a portion from like, there'll be some levels where it's like, yeah, we're doing cool, we're so good, and then it's gonna be like, no, you're not. Get back in your box.
Just becomes an octagon of every person and their patron, and it's like who's coming out on top.
I'll see you guys next week.
Okay.
Yeah. Unless if anybody has any like Easter complications, I know Thursday isn't Easter, but I don't know. Some people might go away to family or something. I don't know. If there is any Easter complications, let me know. But this game I intend to be fine for me. I don't know about for you guys. So if there is any issues, let me know.
Cool.
All right. Good night, guys. Thank
Good
you.
night,
We'll
everybody.
see you guys next week.
See ya.